Can't believe he's done it. The conference room clash champion, Pat Chowder, being lifted into the air by a cow with human teeth.
Oh my gosh, that's the game.
What a game.
And Zero Skater is our new champ.
Oh my goodness. He was not expecting to survive that attack.
And that is it. Chad is the winner of Summer of Legends. Hello and welcome everybody to the semifinals for the Unmatched Winter of Champions 2024 tournament. We are going to see some action here between Unmatchad versus Boterham. Both players in the final four out of, I believe we had nearly 200 people who started in this event. So it is the biggest tournament yet, and it all comes down to this. So I hope everyone's excited. But with me on commentary today, we have Jeremy. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be back here. For some reason, they keep letting me show back up.
Well, we love having you, Jeremy, so thank you for showing up. And then we have Alex. How you doing, Alex?
I am so incredibly hyped that I get to be here and commentate on Chad's match. He's one of my favorite players to watch, so this is going to be good.
Let's go. I'm super excited as well. And last but certainly not least, we got Peter. How you doing, Peter?
What's going on? I'm doing great, guys. Good to see you, John. I'm sure today this is the only interesting thing that has happened to you today, so we're very excited to see you and have you here for the first exciting part of your day.
That's right. Thanks, Peter. I'm glad to be here. For anybody who missed it earlier, this morning I did go up against Phantom in the semifinals, and unfortunately I lost that match. It was a really close match. Came down to the wire, absolute wire of Game 3. It was incredible. So if you guys missed that one, I highly recommend you go back and watch the VOD or wait for it to show up on YouTube, which it will later on in the week probably. You definitely don't want to miss it. So be sure to check that out if you missed it. But we got some more action today. So again, Unmatchad versus Boterham. Now, Chad is no stranger to the final streams. We've seen him a number of times. He's actually made it to the finals stream weekend every single tournament that he's been a part of. So he's got quite the record going here, and he's looking to get his second trophy, actually. So we're going to see if he can do that, but in order to do so, he's going to have to beat Boterham, who is the dark horse of the tournament. This guy came out of nowhere, seemingly. I know he did pretty well in the previous tourney, but nowhere near this good. He's taken out a ton of really good players to get to this spot, so he's obviously deserving of the Final Four. But going up against Chad is not going to be any easy task, so I'm super excited to see what we have in store. Now, I know they did their fighter picks already, but I want to toss this out to you guys and see, does anybody have any predictions of what kind of fighters we might be seeing here in this match?
Well, if I were Tomoe, why you say Tomoe, Alex?
Because I like Tomoe.
That's fair. That's fair. I have a feeling both these guys like to go with spicy picks. They like a little bit of spice, a little that melange, in there. Little Dune. So I think we're gonna see something different. I don't think it's just gonna be the big five and against the next big three. I don't know.
Okay.
I think we'll see something maybe I could see a crazy tier B fighter from an early set or something. Like you had Sinbad in your match, something like that. I could see totally coming through.
Sure. Now, I did get some insider info about the draft, and apparently I think they said 14 fighter bands. So they went deep in the draft. So
Wow.
That seems almost impossible in modern Arsenal. That's
right?
Crazy.
I heard a quote from Chad. A quote from Chad was that Robin Hood was banned because both players felt that he was way too good. So if that tells you anything, tells you anything about what we're about to see. I think we're in for quite a match.
Yeah, we definitely got to be dipping into some, for a while you see competitive play, what you would consider some obscure players or fighters, which is fine by me because I love seeing more stuff. I mean, we got all these fighters. Let's see
Are
something.
we
let's
gonna
show 'em
see
off.
a Chad Bloody Mary?
Ooh, that would be legendary.
Or we can maybe
You
get
know
that
who else
that
we'd like to
classic.
see come out from Chad? I know Chad's
that?
a very big Bayo believer, and
Ooh.
Robin isn't actually the best into Bayo, but if we're getting deep into draft, Chad might be reaching deep into his pocket of characters there.
Maybe Bruce Lee, maybe a little Alice action. Ooh.
There are a
Okay.
lot of fighters that suddenly become relevant when you have 14 bands.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, if they
Spike.
have the, yeah, I don't think not quite that deep, but I think they got the info. So let's see what they got going. If we can have that pulled
Check
up.
it out.
Okay, they're still
Drum
working
roll.
on it. We'll get it shortly. But
Okay, this is a very long
I do
drum
think
roll.
the Bayo is a good call out, Alex, because
Yeah.
Bayo was Chad's champion fighter. He won Chad his trophy in the Game 5 Grand Finals against Darkblade. So yeah, I think that Beowulf call out is a really good one.
Ooh.
Okay. So ignore the win-loss banners; those were left over from.
We
my
do
match
see an
before.
Alice. Oh.
We see the Alice, but not on
Okay.
Chad's side. Wow, surprising.
Ooh. And a genie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Annie is another surprising one. I would not have guessed to see her be the one to make it out of Tales to
Wow.
Amaze.
I agree. That is really cool though, because I know Chad is a big Annie believer, and let's see if he can prove himself to the world. And any Annie doubters out there, we'll see if Chad can change their minds.
All right, I want to know what you guys think the bands are going to be. I see pretty strong bands on both sides, but I'd love to hear from
Wukong.
what do you think?
I think
Oh, wait,
Wukong.
it's through.
Yeah, I know Chad absolutely despises Wukong as a character. And just the mind games that Wukong can force upon you are really bad. Not to mention that he has Annie and Achilles and Tomoe, all of which are not very good against Wukong. So I almost guarantee Chad's going to be banning Wukong.
Genie and Black Widow pretty good into him though.
That is true, but you'd have to get lucky and line them up, right?
So, but Chad is the kind of guy who will go 3 layers deep sometimes. So, because he knows, Boterham knows that he wants to ban Wukong.
Yeah.
So if I'm Boterham and I'm like, my Wukong is getting banned, I'm probably banning Achilles, right?
Sure. And then if
Because
Chad
you
leaves
don't
up
really have-
Wukong, then you only have one fighter weak again. Yeah, or at least less fighters. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Just a quick rundown Arsenal format. So these players each picked 5 fighters. And as you can see, the rosters on either side, you pick simultaneously, you reveal them, and then if there's any fighters that match, so the mirrors, those are banned out, and then you continue the pick process until you each end up with 5 fighters. And these are the 5 that each were left with, and then they're each going to get 1 ban of the opposing fighters, and then that'll leave you with 4, and then you have to assign 3 of them to one game will be your advantage, the other game will be your opponent's advantage, and then the third game will be a neutral if it makes it to a game 3, of course. And in your advantage, you get to pick either map or position advantage. We're doing split advantage this tourney. So you don't get full advantage, but you get your choice of the 2. So map, if you pick map, your opponent is going to ban 2 maps, and then you get to choose from the remaining. And if you pick position, same thing, vice versa. You're going to get to ban 2 maps for your opponent, and then they will choose. They'll choose the map, and you'll get your position choice. So some fighters like Houdini, we see they really like position over map because of his ability letting you teleport. He always just wants to put the pressure on and go first more than anything else. So that's how the Arsenal format is working here. But let's see who we got bans on each side. And one of them is going to be unassigned. Okay.
Oh, Black Widow.
So Chad did not assign Tomoe. Boterham did not assign the Alice, unfortunately.
The 2 we wanted the most.
I know.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But we do still see the Annie, and I know Little Red is a fan favorite as well. So these look like...
Chad has that classic Arsenal 50-50 with Achilles here.
Achilles into red or into InGen, right?
Yup.
Yeah, but I believe that these are in order. So game 1, it looks like Achilles versus Houdini. Game 2 will be Genie versus Red, and game 3 will be Annie versus InGen. And so my thought here is that Chad's looking pretty good to take this 2-0, but if he makes it to a game 3, if Boterham can bring it to game 3, I think he's probably got the advantage there with InGen. So pretty interesting.
Do you think that matchup is InGen favorite? I could see Annie just because Inchan likes to pepper you a lot, so Annie will go down low, and then she could just go and smack the crap out of him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I would imagine it's in Gen favor just because Annie's melee, but you do have Charlie who's ranged, so I'm not.
Doesn't Ingen just keep shooting Charlie and ignore Annie?
Probably. But I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Hopefully we can make it to a game 3, but the more content's always better. But I know Chad's probably looking to take this 2-0, so we'll see what happens. But let's take a look at the maps. Oh, they're working on map ends right now. Okay. So we'll be getting going shortly. But
John, I have a question. As a Genie main and a sort of semi-Little Red main, but not really, but kind of, how do you think that matchup goes? That seems like the most interesting matchup here of all 3 matchups.
I agree. I've only played it, I believe, one time, and it felt really good for Genie. Just being kind of aggressive on Huntsman to take him out early, and then you can kind of combo Little Red pretty easily. But you do risk losing your wishes to a Stones discard. So holding all 3 of the wishes trying to go for that combo can be very risky. So yeah, I don't know. I felt like Genie was favored when I played it, but it was only one time, and I don't think that's very indicative.
I've had almost the opposite experience where Genie doesn't have very big attacks, and so Huntsman with his 9 HP is going to take a lot of effort to get rid of, and then the threat of Stones is always terrifying because if a wish gets hit, that might just be the game, and then have to find a way to kill Little Red through all of the auto damage and other tools that she has, so it can be really annoying for Genie to find that perfect turn to go off on her, I felt.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see because we're going to see that game regardless, so I'm very excited to find out. But let's see.
Jeremy, I know you play a lot of Achilles. Do you have any thoughts on the Achilles-Houdini matchup?
Oh, well, I know that I hate playing against Houdini. That's the first thing I can
Don't
tell
we
ya.
all?
Yeah, but definitely, yeah, it's just like lining up the attacks at the right time on him. Just being able to, I'm forgetting the names of his cards here because I didn't have him pulled up here, but I think it's all part of the show that lets him come back from the dead, essentially.
Yep.
It really stinks to throw in like a big angry Achilles attack into Houdini, and oh yeah, no, he's not really dead. He's just coming back.
He's probably dead. Do you think that means in this matchup, and Chad knows because he's Chad every matchup and what optimal thing is to do always because he's Chad.
Right.
Do you think Chad is going to save his double attacks for angry Achilles then? That's really good into all part of the show. If Boterham is holding on to those all part of the shows to try and survive, double attack just wrecks you with those.
Yeah, especially that 5 on the second half of it being angry. That is just... And that may be one way to get around that, there's to hang on to those.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not like sometimes you can kind of purposefully get yourself to a certain health total to where you can avoid certain lethals, right? And play that card where it'll trigger no matter what. But you can't do that in the case with Achilles because he's got spear throw. So it's not like you can go down to 1 health and be like, okay, I'm at 1 health no matter what he attacks with, even if it's test for weakness, my revive will trigger because then you're just in spear throw lethal range, right? So it's really tricky. I do think it's probably Achilles favored, but Houdini can pop off, as we all know, unexpectedly and take out any fighter. So it's never...
Feels like we have 3 fighters that can just win in a turn here.
Yes.
Achilles, Houdini, Genie, and Annie can just suddenly, oh, I'm losing. Nope, you lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Captain's orders, double land yap,
True. Very explosive lineups, other than Little Red and Ingen, who both like to play definitely a slower, grindier game. The other 4 are very explosive for sure. So that's pretty cool. Looking at the bans again, Peter, you mentioned like, oh, maybe Chad won't ban the Wukong. Do you think this ended up being the right call, banning the Wukong, or do you stand by?
I think it was the right call to ban the Wukong here. Especially, well, if he had to, because his Black Widow got banned. So I guess his thinking is, and it makes sense. If Boterham, the best fighter for Boterham to ban if Wukong is banned, is Widow. So it's sort of like Boterham has the benefit of banning Widow is still good, even if Wukong gets banned. Versus Achilles, if you ban Achilles and Wukong doesn't get banned, you basically lost the ban. So maybe Chad went, oh, okay, well, the double reverse. Or Chad just was like, well, why would I want to fight against Wukong when I can just ban him? That's also most likely the scenario.
Yeah. Okay, well, it looks like they are ready with the game. So let's take a look at game 1 here. Or rather, we can see the maps on all of these. So game 1, as we saw, Achilles versus Houdini is going to be played on, what is that, McMinnville, one of the newer maps from the TTA set. And then we have Genie versus Red on Baskerville, which is typically very good for Little Red, but against Genie, who's ranged, I don't know how much that's going to actually matter. And then Annie versus InGen, oof, that's on Solomon's, which I think is going to be brutal for Annie if it comes down to that. So that's a little bit concerning. But let's take a look at the decks here for game 1. We're going to see the Achilles versus Houdini. So let's take a look here. We'll get the decks pulled up. And Achilles first. So I know, Jeremy, you're a pretty big Achilles guy, so I'll let you take it away with this one.
Okay, well, Achilles' gimmick is basically concerning his sidekick Patroclus, that once Patroclus dies, Achilles gets +2 to all of his attacks, draws a card every time he wins a combat. The downside of it, besides losing his sidekick, is that he also does discard 2 random cards when Patroclus is defeated. So knowing when you need to allow Patroclus to die is important. You always want Patroclus to die on your terms, so it's happening when you have the right number of cards in hand, and so that you can make sure that you're in the space to be able to continue through that game. We pointed out some important stuff here. Spear throw, which was really important, especially to be able to get around Houdini's ways of being able to come back from the dead. And you can look at just the numbers over there and just look at adding +2s to all of those, and you can see how an angry Achilles could really pound down on Houdini.
Well said, Jeremy. So let's take a look at the next one then, being Houdini. And Alex, I'll let you take it away with this one. You like the scumbag fighters, right?
Yes, I do, actually. I'm a very big fan of playing Houdini. Fighting him, but, you know. So, Houdini's big thing is the boost mechanic in Unmatched, where you can discard cards from your hand to add the boost value to his attacks. Nowhere is this more relevant than with his big reveal, which is only a print 2. But you can boost it twice, and with the boost values in Houdini's deck, you can make that as big as a 9. So even though Achilles is a very tanky fighter at 18 health with numerous 4-value blocks, a 9 is gonna hurt. Achilles does have a lot of defenses to get around that, which is where another very important card, Sleight of Hand, comes in, where Houdini can kind of poke and prod at Achilles and see when he's playing a big defense and when he might not have a super solid defense. And if he catches Achilles at a bad time and Sleight of Hand can see, oh, Achilles is only blocking with a 3, that's when you slam down your big damage. I think it's also really important to point out, set the stage in this matchup. Because as we pointed out, when Patroclus goes down, Achilles is losing 2 random cards. That's a perfect opportunity for Houdini to come in, make him lose another card, and then slam him with that 9-value big reveal, which is going to be Houdini's win condition in this matchup. Because if it goes on for too long, I think Achilles has all the damage and defense he needs to take out Houdini.
Yep, I agree. Houdini wants to play fast and furious generally. So let's take a quick look at the map here, being McMinnville, one of these newer maps. And Peter, do you have any thoughts on the map here?
Well, I have to imagine that this was Houdini's map choice. It's so large from corner to corner, and Houdini doesn't care about size, so he could just pop to the other side of the map if he's getting pummeled. And then Achilles, once he's enraged, he's angry, but he has a hard time getting around. There is that nice center area where he can sort of get to the center and get anywhere in 5, and he does have the 4 boost, but He's only got a couple of those, and he's probably going to want to throw one early to try and kill Pat. So maybe Chad saves his under Achilles helms for just boost value in the end game, because if he can't get to Houdini, he might just gas out like he often does.
Yep, I agree. It's a pretty big map, so Achilles is going to have to be a little careful with his boost values. But I believe the players are all set up in Vorpal, so let's head on over there and we'll check out what happens in Game 1. So it looks like we saw a keep from Chad. I didn't catch what... Oh, looks like Boterham is going to mulligan. So maybe looking for more offensive pressure.
Yeah, and we see Chad is dressed to the nines. Boterham is wearing a t-shirt. I don't know if that is a disadvantage here, but he does have Stitch in the background helping him out. So potential win here for Boterham.
Yeah, well, you know what I think about t-shirts.
They should have sleeves.
They should not have sleeves.
John, what's your opinion on Lilo?
On what?
Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and
Botter-
Stitch? I like Lilo and Stitch. I think it's a good movie.
Oh,
look at
oh,
it.
Chad has the panda. Uh-oh.
He's got panda power, guys. It's all over.
I take back my Stitch love. Chad's got panda power. Pandas beat Stitches
Oh
all
man,
the
look
time.
at that. He switched out the...
Took off the bless this house.
This house.
Wow.
I know.
Now
Oh,
here's a
man.
here's
Not even
here's
concerned
an
about his
important-
home anymore. Yeah.
No, but here is an important factor here. Chad is quite religious, and Chad might be, along with being one of the best unmatched players in the game, one of the luckiest people I've ever seen. Do you think taking down his blessings from God will actually hurt him here?
That's a good question. We'll have to... Yeah, he's got the panda. It's fine.
That's true. The panda's basically God. No blasphemy.
And calling back to your dress code comment, you know, Chad is all dressed up and ready to go, but it is about, 10:30 p.m. for Boterham. So I don't blame him for, wanting to have some loungewear on at this point. And we'll have to
That's
see
fair.
if the actual physical fatigue, plays a role here, because I know it definitely can. Unfortunately, with these streams, we try to make it, pretty good for everybody all worldwide, because we do really have a global community, but we can only do so much. So unfortunately, somebody gets stuck playing a little at awkward times at some points.
Yeah.
I do think that actually will be a huge factor here if it goes to Game 3. I think Game 1 and 2 you can sort of push through, but that fatigue really starts to hit in Game 3, especially with how thinky these games can get. Although maybe the explosiveness of these fighters will help, but we already started, so just shut up.
One little positioning thing that I'd like to point out already, which might be a slight mistake from Chad, don't know if it's gonna matter too much. If Houdini pops down right into that tri-zone and attacks Achilles, Achilles probably wants to defend with under Achilles' helm so he can swap with Pat, but if Houdini has some form of action game, he'd be adjacent to both Pat and Achilles, so he could immediately switch his target. Doesn't look like it's going to matter, but little things like that you have to be aware of when fighting Houdini, because at any moment he can just pop off and completely destroy you.
Yeah, that's a good call out, and you got to really be careful about your positioning against top players, because one space can make all the difference in winning or losing a game sometimes. So we do see a double maneuver, though, from Boterham, backing off to the very corner, making Chad boost, so using his valuable resources.
I don't think Achilles' heel is a very valuable resource in this matchup, John.
That's true, but, defense is defense. To an extent.
Can be useful against a Bess on the right scenario, but I don't think Bess is going to live very long, it looks like.
I think Best dies this turn.
Yeah. Looks like he may be doing the find a trade sidekicks game here.
I think that definitely favors Achilles, because then he's going to get buffed up, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I got to expect a Pat card, one of the reds, whether it be Day of Your Doom or Battle Frenzy, I'm not sure, but
I think so.
the problem here is that a lot of times you want to play your feints against Pat, But when you're Houdini, your feints are your misdirections, and your misdirections are auto damage and help you close out the game. And you need every bit of damage you can get against Achilles.
Ooh.
So,
Good old handshake.
wow. That's a brutal handshake.
Wow, and Best survives, which is crazy. You never expect when you're taking a pat attack to survive as 5 health.
Okay, there it is.
Now, see, if Chad would have swapped the ordering there, he could have killed in one go. But now, I think he has the option of just not damaging Pat and leaving him around so that your helms are live, because that's an ultimate defense, in a sense, against Houdini's big reveal. So, interesting choice here.
I actually like that decision of not dealing the damage to Pat and keeping him around for a little bit. Get value out of more of his cards.
I agree, but now, see, it feels a little bad. It feels a little bad that you didn't throw that first at this point, because you did the damage anyways.
Yeah. I think
Here's a question.
Really
he did take the...
Yeah, he was anticipating a defense.
The 2 to Pat. I do wonder, is this a matchup where Achilles can afford to let Pat live? There's always that Patrickless calculus, as Tabe Tendo likes to say.
Yes.
And I do think this is a matchup where if you kill Best that quickly, there is an argument that you could maybe outlast Houdini with your big health and your, well, not anymore, and your Pat switches. Because Houdini's going to draw even more than an angry Achilles, if he doesn't get angry too fast.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But I think Pat does have to die at some point. Achilles wants the extra damage. It's just a matter of when. Like you said, the Patrickless calculus. And because those helms being an ultimate defense for Achilles are so valuable. We even see one being discarded here with the Set the Stage, which is an insane effect, by the way. You discard a card to boost, and you get to look at your opponent's hand before you even move and ditch one of the cards. That's just insane. Houdini with massive hand advantage, though, on Achilles is a bit concerning. And the sleight of hand even early on is a little brutal, letting Boterham swap out any card he wishes.
Now, we know Chad, when Houdini and Genie first came out, played a lot of Houdini. Do you think he's probably played this matchup from the other side? Do you think that's going to help him here? Or do you think he has theories on this? Or as someone who's played a lot with Chad, John, just
I think he definitely, that's definitely going to help him, knowing it from the other side as well. I do think Chad is a good enough player to navigate any matchup, pretty well. But yeah, it's definitely going to help. But wow, an early big reveal over a skirmish is a bit surprising.
Yeah, interesting to see it against a skirmish.
Okay. Does he have the ski? Because then you can cash out for 5 damage, actually, onto Achilles right now.
I think if you have it, you throw it every time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I really like the sleight of hand boost because, as you pointed out, John, Houdini has such a massive hand advantage.
Yes.
And before Pat goes down, Achilles does not have any draw in his deck. So the boost effect on sleight of hand, keeping that hand advantage up and really forcing Achilles to scramble, I like that.
He might be thinking about boosting with the beautiful Best to gain the action, or misdirection. Because if you can throw a misdirection boost early, he might be able to actually use it against a Pat attack. If you could throw one in now, you get the effect off of it once. It doesn't necessarily matter if you get it off a second time. Yeah, see, there you go.
I like it.
Because now you can use it. Even though you could still keep it and use it again, now you have the threat of using it as a boost or as a feint, which is really nice.
So we see big reveal going up to a 6, dealing 2 combat damage, and then the 2 auto damage from the misdirection boost effect. And then the misdirection returned to the hand from the after combat of the big reveal. So quite the explosive attack there, and plenty of damage left for Achilles, or for Houdini rather. And Achilles with a low hand count is going to have to probably take a couple of maneuvers to gain his footing again.
We see Houdini bring back the misdirection with the big reveal there instead of the sleight of hand. What do you guys think about that choice?
I agree with it. I think you just need every bit of damage that you can get.
Fair enough.
And especially
Like I said,
since
I
you've
also
already...
think it's
Go ahead,
yeah.
Peter.
You've used one. You got the big reveal out. You've already used one big reveal. You only got one more of those
Yeah,
left.
exactly.
You don't have a ton of damage, but also now you have the possibility of keeping Pat alive. Now you're even in health. You can potentially avoid. Well, I immediately was made wrong. But unless he's got another one, I mean, that's the beauty of using it. You can have it and actually use it as a feint, which sometimes is very useful. If he keeps Pat alive, Achilles has a hard time killing Houdini. Especially with those all part of the shows that we talked about in the breakdown. What do you think's being thrown here? If you were on the Houdini side,
I would like to see action gain, because you know Achilles might be, low on defense, and this could be a problem.
That's the last defense we saw with sleight of hand. Not sleight of hand. Set the stage.
Set the stage, so he may be defenseless.
That is not a good place to be against Houdini.
Nope, not at all. I do love the aggression from Houdini, though. Pushing that hand advantage, at least Chad has a defense, and it's a feint of all things.
Oh, beautiful feint.
Solid.
Yeah.
wow,
I
Chad
love
still
people
does have the
doing that.
blessings of God, apparently, even without the frame.
Yeah, he's taken 7 damage already. He's got to be careful.
Okay, Alex, that Achilles heel would have been pretty nice into that set for my next trick, wouldn't it?
It would have, but are you sure you want to give Houdini action gain in case he? What if he still had that sleight of hand?
Well,
And
yeah.
oh, you're blocking with an Achilles heel. I'm throwing a flourish. I'm boosting this up. I'm getting another action. Then I'm throwing something else, and it
Yeah.
can spiral out of control so fast. We've all seen what happened when Taylor blocked with Achilles heel. So
That is true. But now that one of the sleight of hands is gone, Achilles heel just got a little bit safer, right? If the other sleight of hand isn't around to guarantee the punish on it, you might be able to sneak it in here and there.
yes, but one of the for my next tricks is also gone, which is the main thing you'd want to block with Achilles heel.
True.
Aside from like a vanishing act or some other little garbage bait attack.
So let's look at the damage output left for Houdini. He's got 2 misdirections, so that's 4 auto damage, putting Achilles down to effectively 7. There's one of them right there.
One more.
You're going to have to land, though, at least like a couple of boost attacks, right, on a Achilles without them getting feinted or helmed. That was another good feint.
Wow.
This guy, I swear.
Chad needs to find his battle hardens fast.
Yes,
if he
now's
can find those
when you
battle
start
hardens,
hitting. I would
you
love
can
an
start
attack.
punching Houdini in the face. Yeah.
Attack with a battle hardened right here would be incredible. You knock a defense out of Houdini and then get your feint back. I think that's what Chad should be looking for.
Honestly,
Yeah,
if I'm Houdini and Achilles attacks me right now, I just take it. If Pat attacks me, I might want to.
Yeah.
Achilles, not first life, but you know what I mean. I'm not defending very often.
Yeah.
I think this has got to be a handshake. Chad's going to say, you got to respect my attack, and then I'm going to gain the action. I'm going to draw an extra card. And if you take it, fine. I'll still keep hand advantage with a second maneuver, and you're down 4 health. I don't
Yeah.
think he would throw anything else necessarily.
Yeah.
Because he's
It's
got
nice
at most
also
1
for
defense.
Chad to have it's nice for Chad to have Pat at 4 and not 2 right now. Because if he's at 2, Pat dies, Achilles goes down to 2 cards. There isn't an argument to be made that if he goes down to 2 health here and Boterham has the For My Next Trick, you could kill Pat on your turn and then attack Achilles with only 2 cards in hand.
Right.
So he's got to be really careful about Pat dying with the ability to be double attacked by Houdini.
Definitely. Oh, wow. I'm surprised.
And we're going to see the damage.
3 damage.
Yeah, but now Houdini's can warp next to Achilles. I have 3 cards in
He
hand.
could do exactly what I talked about. He could go in that spot next to both of them, hit Pat,
Yeah.
Oof.
and then attack Achilles. Oh, no, he's not going to do it. I mean, if he's got the firepower. Oh, okay.
I would have loved to see Houdini be very aggressive and move himself adjacent to Achilles here. I'm surprised this looks like a defensive play.
He might not have anything to attack with. You know, we've seen a lot of firepower gone. We haven't seen only one best card in the discard and only one scheme. So
That's true.
there's a chance he doesn't have an attack in hand. He still has, I think, 4 blues left in his deck, three yellows and 2 best attack.
5 blues.
5 blues.
2 vanishings. Yeah, some yellows and best stuff. So yeah, he might just not have the firepower, which looks like the case.
Given how Boterham has been playing so far, of just going galls to the wall, I think he has a good chance he doesn't have anything here.
Yeah. I say it all the time. Everybody remembers those 15 or so % of Houdini games where turn 1 knocks out your only defense and instantly there's nothing you can do about it. People don't like to talk about that other 85% of Houdini games where he has an explosive start and then kind of runs into this problem where it's turn after turn of, I can't do anything with this hand, and his opponent can stabilize, and then Houdini just kind of falls apart.
That's true. Now, do you guys expect to see some kind of play like maybe boosting with misdirection to kill off Pat to force 2 random discards before you even make your attack? Do you think that might come into play at some point in this game?
Not at this hand count, no.
Right, if they end up getting lower, maybe?
Not yet, yeah. Especially because 2 misdirections are gone already.
Right.
You gotta be very careful with that last one, make sure it's used very intentionally. Houdini's at 10 health, but we haven't seen a single spear throw, and we know he has one in hand. So he's effectively at, it's weird to say this, but Houdini is effectively at 6 health. If you make Achilles angry too soon, you might regret it.
That's true.
Houdini's defenses suck.
He does have
That's
the
also
Grand
very true.
Escape. And Grand Escape is pretty good, but not into an angry Achilles double attack, though.
Yeah. Grand Escape is good, but that's 2 cards out of your hand and a boost 3 gone for not a lot of immediate gain, other than, oh, I don't die this turn. Which can be good sometimes, but there's definitely a cost to Grand Escape.
That's true.
Yeah. A heavy cost this day. That was a Thanos reference. Now they're in this point where both of them are scared of the other one, and neither of them, whoever breaks first and sort of goes for the psycho turn, could really determine what happens in this game right now. They're both sort of posturing, looking at each other across this field. Imagine those are pretty big cornfields, but maybe not that big.
Ooh. Aggressive boost from Chad.
That is.
I would love to see a handshake follow up here.
I actually want to see a battle hardened. I think Chad really needs to faint.
I would love to see a battle hardened, or if he's got the last feint in hand. Well, if you got the last feint in hand, you can't kill Pat. Maybe if you have garbage in hand, maybe you kill Pat now.
And just pray.
Yeah, it's always risky. Yeah. What do you expect to throw here, John?
I have no idea, honestly. I want to say battle hardened. Okay.
Oh, it is the handshake.
Yep, we're going to have to see a boost come out of Houdini, which does even up the hand counts. And then Chad still has another action to maneuver afterwards.
That is pretty nice. Going up against a full hand Houdini is so much scarier than going up against a 5-card Houdini.
Ooh, but he boosts with a heal. That's a beautiful turn for Houdini.
The heal off. Yeah.
Heals himself, gets away, forces another action, and gets close to Achilles.
At least Achilles can force a boost here if he maneuvers away, because Houdini doesn't want to go adjacent to Achilles and then take an attack.
Is forcing a boost a good idea against Houdini?
Not the best, but hey, you'll take all the hand advantage you can get at this point, I think.
No, I
You
think
can't
that was
boost
a great
everything.
turn for
That's-
Chad.
Yeah,
That was good
think
evening
one-
up the hand counts.
for sure. One of the things you don't think about until you play Houdini a couple times is you can't boost everything. You start to boost too much to maneuver, you can't boost your attacks. You boost too much to attack, you can't boost your maneuvers.
Right.
It's kind of this weird, you know. Sometimes you need to just boost with a flourish to to recycle the card.
That is
Um,
true.
It's honestly the most interesting part about Houdini for me. Flourish. When do I
Mm.
want to play it? Because it's a second shot. But when do I want to boost with it? Because my other options are better to play and I need the card? And how much is too much on either end? There's so many interesting considerations for the Houdini player. I love it.
Now, Chad's in the same awkward position again that he was in last turn, unfortunately, because of that action gain making him have to take another maneuver. He has to boost here or he has to overdraw, and both of which, if you're boosting in, only Achilles can reach without a big boost. Looks like he's just gonna go for the
boosting with the
spear.
Hermes. Yeah, that's actually a smart turn here. And Hermes isn't that useful in this match. Well, yeah, it's not the most useful in this matchup. I think you want more damage once you're angry.
Yeah.
And we're pretty far down in decks already. I don't think there's that many. There's going to be that many angry Achilles attack turns left. I do think if I'm Bram, I think about potentially killing Pat right now.
Yes.
I always find against Achilles or as Achilles, there's like a sweet spot where you want Pat to die. I think if he dies in the first 10 cards of your deck or the last 10 cards as Achilles, you're happy. It's that 11 to 18 range where you start to feel like you don't have enough power to kill and you gas out too fast.
Right.
So with Chad at 12 cards in deck, it feels like a really nice time to basically say, okay, you only have 3 turns to kill me now because you're going to draw too much.
I would really love to see Houdini boost into this starting space here in the middle, attack Pat for my next trick, hope to kill him, that Pat takes it undefended, and then hop over to Achilles and attack him with a follow-up. I would have loved to seen that. But this is
nice here.
Yeah.
This is a really
So
interesting interaction.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Jeremy, walk us through how does this one work here?
Okay, well, the orders on those will immediately, first thing's going to happen is Chad is going to decide if he wants to swap, and that's going to happen before Boterham gets to switch his out. So does he want to bring Pat in there when he has no idea what it's going to be?
Yeah, very scary spot.
Yeah, it is.
This is one of those
And
weird
Boterham has
scenarios
so
where
many
you wish
options.
Defender didn't resolve first.
Yes,
I know, right?
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, sometimes it's not an advantage.
Right.
I think if you're Chad, you have to do it just in case of a big reveal. You can't take 6 here, you know?
I agree.
And I think if you're Boterham, you want that, and you maybe throw a Vanishing Act, or you just kill Pat with a 4,
Yeah, it's
boosted
just,
action gain. I think,
It's just,
but I don't think you can afford to take a big reveal and go down to 2
it's
health
just
against Houdini.
if Chad swaps and Boterham wants Pat dead, then Pat will be dead.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so Chad is
You
going to
just
swap.
you can't, because you could literally die immediately if you don't. If he has big reveal with a misdirection and the 4, it's a guaranteed lethal for him, right? Because he big reveals into the 4+1, you get on to 2, he takes back the misdirection, then maneuver boosts with it.
I would love to see
know?
him go into a swap like a flourish, boost with the action gain to perfectly kill, and then maneuver boost with another action gain. Okay, he doesn't want Pat dead yet, which
Ooh,
that's interesting.
interesting.
Yeah,
I think you'd want Pat to die at this point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now Achilles has another helm. Although
Another helm.
he does know that sleight of hand is in hand. That sleight of hand is so good at attacking Achilles.
So good. It really does change the game in this matchup very significantly. Because you're never punished by Helm.
Ooh.
I think
I
Chad
can see a
knows.
double attack here. I don't think you want Pat dead, but maybe you just have to go psycho mode on your own turn so that you
Handshake.
can.
Battle Hardened. Love
Battle
it.
Yeah, there we
Love
go.
Now, this is really going to give away, I think, a lot about Chad's macro strategy here, his win condition, how he feels about the state of the game, because if he takes a feint, it's more defensive, and maybe he thinks he can outlast Houdini's remaining damage if he defends properly. If he just takes like a red card, it shows that Chad has given up on survival. He knows Houdini will kill him eventually, and he's just going to try to kill Houdini first.
That's a great point, John. Watching Chad play in times like this, or you, gotta compliment you, is really good for learning like how macro matchups work and looking at moments like this, right? Where he's already decided what he thinks is best. And so you can learn a lot from these moments more than even the moments of the actual play.
Yep.
So what would you do? And let's see if you're immediately wrong.
I don't know. I feel like a handshake. It's got to be a handshake or a feint, I think.
Feint.
One of the two.
I think you can afford to take one more feint back. You still have one battle hardened left. You know? Yeah.
Okay.
You can get that handshake later. Plus, you still have 2 skirmishes and a wily and 2 double attacks, so you're not hurting for offense once you get angry.
Sure.
You need to survive just long enough to be able to kill him when you are angry.
Yep, you're just giving yourself more combat interactions.
Exactly.
I think I agree with the feint take.
You know what would be
The
the
feint
greatest
is always pretty solid against Houdini, so
Definitely. All of his power is in his effects.
And also, if you've got an Achilles heel and Houdini goes in, now's honestly an okay time to throw the Achilles heel, because Houdini, knowing Chad has a feint, has that 4. Although I guess you could boost to 4. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe not. Maybe disregard.
to boost, let's say, a flourish over Achilles heel requires at least, what, a 2 boost, I guess, which is pretty common in the deck, and then you get a follow-up. I think the heel is very risky at this point.
I think if I'm Boterham and I have the illusion of my own design, it's a great time to throw it.
The 4.
Because, yeah. It's almost a guaranteed 2 damage.
Yeah, I like it because you have such hand advantage.
Yeah. If Chad has to boost his defense, it's like, oof.
Right, then Boterham gets a 2-for-1. And he's avoiding those lethal ranges really well with the second healing here. It's going to be hard for Chad to turn the tables and try to kill
Although those are
Houdini.
gone now. He doesn't have
No revives.
He doesn't have the revives left. But
and only one more
I don't
boostable,
think
so the defenses for Houdini really are lacking severely.
Mm.
But
Yes,
we'll
Oh,
see.
illusion of my own design is a boost. Oh, you mean boostable defense? Yeah.
Yes.
But Houdini's bad defenses are only really going to matter if Achilles can get angry and hit back. Which
Yeah.
is sketchy right now.
I think if I'm Chad, I might think about throwing the last helm here. It's
Have
too
it
risky to throw that feint, I think, with the illusion. Or if he's got a good maybe a skirmish, maybe you throw a skirmish here. If you've got it, I really feel like if you're Boterham and you have the illusion, now's a great time to use it.
I agree, because you know he just took back the feint, and he might even not have any other good defenses. Really, the only good options are the feint, and I guess if you can throw Achilles heel, if Chad can defend heal into illusion, and Houdini doesn't have the big boost. Oh.
Yep, there it is.
Brutal.
Yep.
Good, very smart play from Boterham there. Not using the sleight of hand and instead just going straight for the illusion to punish the feint. Very, very good.
Yeah, I'm surprised Chad. Maybe he doesn't have anything else, because it felt like I felt like Chad probably knew that was coming. I saw that one. The second Chad pulled back the feint, I was like, "Up here comes the illusion."
Yeah, good call out. Chad might not have any other options though.
He might not. He might not. We already know he has at least one red in hand.
I think the problem too is that Chad's at 6 and one more big boosted attack over the wrong defense is probably game over because there's still another misdirection. And the set the
Yeah.
stage almost guarantees that Boterham will be able to land that last boosted attack that he needs. Unless Chad can find himself into a hand where he has both the feint and the helm, which is very unlikely. And even if he does, Boterham can hit with the sleight of hand and go into a for my next trick to bait that out and then land it. So it's not looking good for Achilles.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot. I bet he really wishes that Wily Fighting could ping your own fighters here. He might want to just take out Pat now.
Okay.
Wow, a take of a skirmish.
Ooh, wow. Houdini is low in defense, and he might think it's more useful to save his defenses for angry Achilles, which is fair.
Yeah.
Maybe he expected a test for weakness here.
I'm confused by the play from Chad. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, he does need to. He knows that he needs to kill Houdini. He's not going to win by playing
Can't win
slow.
anymore.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
4 damage definitely helped out. He's still got another spear. He's still got a Brothers in Arms.
Got a bat card.
Yep, one more Pat, which is essentially a 5.
What does Houdini have left on defense? 1 Vanishing Act, 1 Misdirection, 1 Boostable 2, and 1 Swappy Do? Is that it?
Yep. 2
Yeah, remember,
Vanishing, 1
his
Swap.
defense is
2
low.
Vanishing, okay.
2 Vanishing, 1 Swap, 1 Boost,
And 1 Misdirection.
and 1 Misdirection. Yep. That's it.
He's running low too.
It's,
So maybe he took that expecting the double, saying, I can't afford to defend 2 parts of a double.
True.
Yeah, it's
These doubles
I
might
think
be
it was
the
a good
game here.
Play by Houdini. I was just not expecting the skirmish. I was kind of expecting another handshake, if anything. But
Yeah,
there's only one
he-
of those left.
probably all he had,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Chad's hand is pretty
you just-
small.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of attacks with skirmish while Pat is still alive. You know, that's usually using that to get the 6 late in the game. So it was just interesting.
It's another good reason to throw it if you're Chad. I mean,
I-
you know, you have to go for psycho. You got to go kind of psycho mode here to win. You got to do unexpected things like
Yep.
throw skirmishes when they're probably Boterham is expecting double attacks or 3s. You got to take things that you shouldn't be taking, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah, I think Boterham really just needs to put the pressure on Chad. If you give Chad more combat interactions, you might find yourself in a spot where Achilles defends with his last helm, Pat dies off, and then Angry Achilles throws a double attack, and maybe you can only defend the first piece, and then you take an undefended 5, and that could be lethal if you take 3 more damage. So you really don't want to find yourself in that kind of situation, playing too passively. And so I think with such a hand advantage, I'm surprised he's backing off.
I think
And it sucks.
I think he didn't have a defense. I think that thought process to me indicated to me he didn't have a defense.
No defense at all. Huh?
What I was thinking is he just took an attack, which we thought might be because he was taking a double, but he's got 4 defenses left and 9 cards still in deck before that last draw. There's a good chance he doesn't have one in hand. So he's thinking, I can go in right now and try and kill Achilles. But if I don't kill him, I'm next to him with no defenses, and he's a caged animal who knows he has to kill me now.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that indicates he didn't have a defense and was really thinking about, well, now do I go in and try and wallop even though I might die, or do I just back off even though it's suboptimal?
Right. I would have loved to see Chad pressure, though, on the previous turn, despite being, okay, he does have the hand that can save him.
Yep.
I don't know about that, actually. Because the positioning thing I brought up at the beginning of the game, relevant again. You take out the feint, you attack into the helm with for my next trick, and then you can smack Achilles.
You're right. That's going to come back to bite him right here. I almost guarantee it.
Chad has been positioning like that all game, and I've been waiting for something to happen.
So
and
do you know why? The reason he's positioning like that is so that if Houdini goes and attacks Achilles and you play the swap, then when you swap and then Pat dies, you're in a single maneuver range of going up to a Houdini to counterattack him, right, on your following turn. But, like you said, Alex, this is going to punish him right here. Like, I think it would have been easily worth it for Chad to go one space more separated so that you could then, sure, you have to boost, but, like, do you really care about having to boost? Like, this is a much bigger punish than having to boost.
Oh, here's it's like this is the game right here.
Yeah.
What do you swap into? Pat's at 1 health.
What do we swap
So you
into?
can't kill him with a for my next trick, but you can kill him with a flourish.
You go with flourish,
boosted with an action gain.
That's what you do if you're Boterham. If you have it,
Yep.
100% you do that.
If you have
right
it,
here.
you go for it.
Yeah, if you've got the action gain, it's just gonna be brutal.
Because you get 2 random
that's the
discards.
thing.
You could literally
we
hit
don't know what
both
the discards
defenses
are gonna be.
Right.
and then just kill. I think Boterham's thinking about it. I think he might still not have a defense, and that's why he's thinking so hard.
Yeah, we know Chad has 2 doubles.
Yeah. He might be thinking, man, can I kill Chad? Do I go for the 50-50, essentially? Is it a 50-50? Well, it's a 25% and a 25%. I don't think it's a true 50-50. Ooh, a little hurt from the heroes here.
Oh, for sure. This is the game right here. This is it.
Yeah.
It all comes down
I think
to
he
this.
must have some sort of action gain in hand. I think he must have the boostable that could kill Pat with an action gain, or he's not thinking about this
What
hard.
if he doesn't have a flourish or an illusion or a big reveal, right? What if you just don't have a attack you can boost?
I think he might only have a big reveal or something, because that would be worse.
You're right. Yeah.
I think if you can't kill, you probably just leave sleight of hand. Then, if you can't kill with an action gain, I think you just leave the sleight of hand. Chuck it. The feints are gone. You don't need to worry about them anymore.
Right.
Except
you don't
for
need the sleight of hand.
battle hardened.
You're right.
Oh man.
I think Chad wants Pat to die here, but not with an action gain, so that he just gets double angry Achilles attacks and hopes to close out the game right then and there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, like you pointed out earlier, an angry double attack would just be insane right now.
Yep. So Chad had what, 2 doubles, and then the
Hermes and the skirmish.
Hermes and skirmish.
And both of those are good because
And a spear.
even if he vanishing acts, if you Hermes, double attack is great, and if he vanishing acts into the Hermes,
Well, I think you
also
probably
great.
throw skirmish, right? Because then even if he has got the boostable Boterham, he'd need the scheme as well to match the 6. So you almost guarantee.
True.
Or no, but then if it is vanishing act, you're right. Then it would get 3 spaces away.
Oh, he's doing it.
He does have
Flourish.
a flourish.
Does he have the action?
And he's got
gain?
the
He
action
does!
gain. That was the play.
Oh,
I love that play.
All right.
I love that play from Boterham.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
That was the right
Oh
play.
man.
no. All right,
If
we're
you
about to see
both
if
double
Chad's
attacks
luck
go,
comes
Chad,
in
you're
clutch.
as much as it stinks to lose 2 double attacks as Achilles. Man, it feels good right now.
Number 3.
3.
Hermes.
I just want. Oh.
Okay.
Let's see.
We don't care about that one.
Yeah.
3.
That's it.
Oh.
That's the game.
Wow.
My goodness.
That's the game.
Holy cow.
Wow.
That's it. Oh my gosh, that's the game.
Wow. Wow.
Jeez.
Wait, look, I bet he did not have defense. I want to see what the rest of his
Let's
hit.
all right.
Oh, he
let's
did have
let's
defense.
listen
Okay.
in on them.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
listen to see what they got to
Let's
say.
listen in.
The action game here, I'm in trouble. I maybe could have positioned Pat a little differently to avoid that. But my thought was you already I was at 4 or 6, right? So my thought was I'm already dead to a 8 value big reveal and misdirection. So my thought was I put myself in a position, hope that something like this happens, and then you don't hit my stuff there.
Yeah, I was kind of worried if you had this left, the skirmish for your last card, then I would have still attacked with this and you made you boost with your last card or just take 4 damage.
Yep. Which I think I do still boost, and then I draw a card off of that. What would that have been? unless you
Oh,
decide
yeah,
to still
because
boost.
you're angry at killers, of course. I don't think I would
Aha!
Then.
Nothing valuable. GG, that was very well played. Yeah, yeah, it felt great. I mean, you threw the gas on really early, and I didn't feel like I could do too much. I really was debating throwing the 5 with Pat first instead of the action game. But it felt like it was a 50-50. I felt like you might play the swap early. I wasn't sure, and just like force me to have to spend 2 attacks. So if that was the case, I wanted to take a second one. If you didn't though, which you didn't, and I threw the 5, then that's obviously the best case scenario. But yeah,
You
very
know
well
what?
played.
My opening hand was, I think, something like this.
Wild.
Yeah. My first hand that I mulliganed had all 3 of these.
Oh my goodness.
And I did have to set the stage, but I was like, okay, 3 of
You
those
didn't
I
have
can't really
any
use that. No.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Wild.
put Bass here at the start, so you couldn't reach Houdini.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, no, I didn't have any defenses, so she was.
Yeah, that was really good because my plan was if you left that open, I had the helm, so my plan was to go in, but I couldn't. I couldn't get there.
Wow, you guys, what a crazy game that was already for game 1.
Bonkers.
Yeah. I mean, Peter, what do you think about that ending?
I mean, phew, that was an ending. What? It was a 50% into a 1 in 3 for that to happen to Chad specifically. So it's 50% times 0.3333. So it's like an 18% chance of those 2 cards being lost specifically. I'm not a stat head, but stat nerds, if you're in the chat, let me know exactly what it is. Chad, you got to feel okay about that. I mean, Alex, you talked about it at the beginning. You talked about it later. That positioning really just killed Chad. It sounded like he knew that, but was hoping that he would just survive that turn. That he didn't think he could survive either way, so he just needed to survive that one onslaught and then crack back, basically.
Yeah, and he did start the turn with both the helm and the feint, like I talked about, to prevent the set the stage from completely.
He had 4
ruining you.
defenses.
Yeah, that was a good time to set up that way. But yeah, I mean, Jeremy, that's classic Houdini for you, huh?
Yeah, it is classic Houdini, and it is, what we talked about earlier, making sure that Patroclus dies when you want Patroclus to die and not when your opponent wants him to die, because it just always seems to be that RNG that's involved there with Patroclus dying, like when your opponent's the one that's killing them, it always seems to never go well for you.
Yeah. You want him to die on your terms, not the opponent's terms.
Yeah,
I agree. That's always the fun of any Achilles matchup. But Alex, yeah, like you said, man, that positioning came back to haunt him. I understood why he was doing that. Like I said, the single maneuver, if you do swap in and have Pat die off, you want to be in single maneuver range of Achilles, because if you lose 2 cards from the random discards and you also have to boost your maneuver, you're left with very little cards in hand to actually pressure being angry now. So yeah, I guess I understand why, but you were right, man. That little pocket was his downfall. So
One moment I think back on, if I'm Chad and I look back on this match, that at the time I thought this might be, it was very early on, but when he attacked with that Day of Your Doom into a dead Bess and decided to deal the 2 damage to Pat, I thought at the time this might come back to haunt him. And I think it did, because Houdini, he couldn't have done that double attack turn because he had a flourish, right? He boosted the flourish with the beautiful Bess, which is only 1 boost. So that would have been 4, and he would have survived at 1 health.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I didn't. Go ahead, Alex.
It's crazy to say, but I really think that 1 turn was why Chad lost. Because not only of what you brought up, Peter, but he also sunk a handshake into Bess for no reason, and so that puts him down 1 more card than he had to be, and it just sent him into that death spiral of, okay, I need to boost to reach Houdini, but then I go down in cards, and then Houdini comes in, attacks me, I'm at less cards, I need to maneuver, we reset position, I need to boost into attack Houdini, and
yeah, he did get in that bad cycle. Yeah, you're 100%
Yeah, it's
right.
almost not even about the. It's not even about the loss of the handshake as an attack, but the loss of a card in hand.
Yeah.
That's like a very good point.
Yeah, it kind
great
of
point,
seems
Alex.
like it kind of seems like it was just a number of small little moments in here where there was just a minor misplay that didn't even seem like that huge at the time that all kind of culminated in the end.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing with this game is that I wouldn't even call these things misplays, right? It's just, it's a hidden information game. You're always going to make calls, and sometimes you make the right calls, and sometimes you make the wrong calls. And because you never know how the rest of the game is going to unfold. So at the time, it might seem to be the right play, and then things happen a little different. And hindsight's always 20/20. So you look back and you're like, man, if I just didn't do that, it would have been fine. But you never know that at the time.
Yeah.
So.
But John, 2020 was 4 years ago, so
You're right. We're past that.
Also, one thing I do want to say about Bram. Bram is actually who took me out in Summer of Legends this last tournament.
Okay.
And one thing I've noticed about him, he is someone who will not make a basic mistake. I very rarely see him make those little mistakes. So if you make one or two small mistakes, he capitalizes on those so hard. I think that's one of his best skills I've seen from watching him is really he's not going to make a small error or a small thing like that where, okay, I'm not going to attack with this. I don't know if that's exploitable at all, but he's not going to do things like that.
Sure. Very clear cut, to the book, right? Just let's make the optimal play. I mean, that's kind of how I play myself a lot of times. I know Chad is a little bit more out there. He's willing to take bigger risks, I think. But Chad's biggest strength, I think, is just recognizing the game state. And his end game scenarios, like the way he can math out scenarios in the end game, is probably better than anybody in the game. So.
Yeah, like we say that positioning was a mistake, but he knew that could happen. He knew that was possible. And he was just like, well, I can't win the long game. I have to have Pat dying now. And I have to just be able to survive this one onslaught. And then I can throw a double attack or a skirmish and draw a card, attack again, Yeah. Like, Pat, he had basically, if he survives that turn, which he does if he gets either of his defenses still in hand, he's in a great spot because whatever he has left, he's going to draw a card from. And he's going to stay next to Houdini because he's either attacking with a double attack or he's attacking with the attack that moves him, right? So he's like, okay, I'm taking the chance here that I will survive this turn because I'm not going to win either way.
Yeah, exactly. Great recognition of the game state. He took a gamble. It didn't pay off, but hey, we're on to the next. We're on to game 2. So we're going to see Genie versus Little Red. So let's take a look at those decks here that we got coming up. And the Genie, I'll go ahead and take it away with Genie. I've played a lot of him myself. He was one of my mains when he first came out. I grinded a ton of games with him because he's just so much fun. He's probably one of the hardest fighters to pilot in the game because every single turn, your ability says that you can discard one of your cards to give yourself a third action that turn. So having 3 actions is obviously incredibly powerful, but at the cost of a card every time you want to do it is quite costly. And Genie's values in his deck are very low, so every card really counts because you got to maximize your deck efficiency if you want to win. And not only do you have that ability, but the first key card there, the 3 Wishes, that is the whole entire deck, basically. You have 3 copies of the scheme, 3 different options. You gain an action when you play it, so you don't even lose any tempo. And you either draw 5, which is insane hand advantage, or for the rest of your turn, your cards' values are 4s, and they cannot be changed, so it bumps up all your cards to give you some extra damage output for the turn, or each opponent discards 2 cards, and your opponent gets to choose the cards, but because this gains you an action, you can save up all 3 of the Wishes and dump them all back-to-back in the same turn and make your opponent lose 6 cards in a single turn. Meanwhile, you are probably sitting there with 3 actions available to you, and your opponent has 1 or 0 cards in hand. So the Genie combo is when you play to dump your opponent's entire hand, and then you unload as much damage as possible, ideally 12 damage to OTK them, essentially. That's one way to play Genie. Otherwise, you can play very aggressive using your ability often and use the card draw from the Wishes to try to land undefended hits and find your damage that way, just by constant attacking so that they don't want to counterattack you and you run them out of defenses. or you can play value Genie kind of towards fatigue and just kind of chip away little attacks here and there as passes. Don't use your ability much. Use the wishes to dump their hand like later game when they've run out of a lot of the resources to make it so that they don't have any defenses or any even sometimes attacks to pressure you with, and you kind of just win out in fatigue by playing a value game. So there's a lot of different options, and you really got to have a great awareness of the game state to make the right call. Because if you pull the trigger on one of your wishes at the wrong time or pick the wrong option, that can cost you the whole game. So he's very punishing fighter to play as, but he's very rewarding if you can do well. You see Sultan's, that second key card, lets you look at your opponent's hand and discard a card, a chosen discard, like we saw with Set the Stage, so that can really set up for your combo turns. Otherwise, he's got a lot of draw power, he's got a lot of auto damage, but all of his card values are pretty low, so finding where your damage is coming from can often be pretty tricky. But that's the basis for Genie. The opponent has got to be very careful attacking into him because he has a lot of draw power on defense, which can then flip around and turn into a massive burst combo. So the opponent's got to be very careful, but as long as you play it safe against Genie, you can usually put yourself in a pretty decent spot at least. That's basically what he's all about, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next fighter, being Little Red. And who's our Little Red main here? Alex, are you the Little Red guy?
I play a lot of Little Red, so sure, I'll take this one.
Go ahead.
Alright, so, Little Red. Little Red's got this really interesting symbol mini-game going on, where on all of her cards, she's got one of three symbols. Either knives, flowers, or the wolf pelt. And all of her cards, well, most of her cards, require you to have a matching symbol in order to get the effect that you want from them. And they're really powerful when they do. For example, Stones in the Belly, one of Little Red's strongest cards. It's a 2-value versatile. If you have knives in your basket, then it's a versatile ambush, which is insane, especially against Genie, because if you can snipe one of those wishes, suddenly it becomes so much harder for Genie to actually kill you, because his values are not very good, so he needs to land those undefended hits. But even outside of that, it's a defense that has a random discard and can block for up to 5 against most fighters. That's really solid. That's not the only thing Little Red has going on for her. Could we have somebody pull up Once Upon a Time, please? Once Upon a Time is similar to Stones, where it requires you to have knives in the basket, and it's only a 2, but you deal 3 damage back to the opposing fighter. So unless you're swinging for 6 into Little Red when she has Once Upon a Time on top of the basket, you're taking just as much, if not more, damage for attacking into Red than you are dealing to her, which is an insane health trade. And that's kind of Red's whole thing, that auto damage, grinding you down over the course of the game with non-combat damage and making it really scary to attack into her. So that can come back to haunt Genie because he's only a 16 health solo fighter. He doesn't have any good way of mitigating that auto damage except for attacking with his feints, which isn't always the best option for Genie. However, with all of his discards, it's possible for him to disrupt that basket. So it's going to be a really interesting match to watch play out.
All right, so let's take a look at the map here. Going to be Baskerville Manor. Peter, what do you think of this map?
I think this map is going to make things a little bit difficult for the friend the Genie. Red can hide in that corner behind the Huntsman, and obviously that's what she wants to do normally. But Red can also hide the Huntsman in front of her if she wants to. Now Genie is ranged, so she can't really hide, but if he does come up to attack that corner, we're talking in the library in the top right, that yellow bookshelf area, Genie is next to the Huntsman, which you never want to be, or next to Red, so she can attack. And I don't know if Genie has the burst potential to kill Huntsman early enough to make him not be able to get the value off. We heard Zach, aka Darkblade, talk about that in the first stream, that Huntsman isn't really about how much damage he does, but how much value he gets before he dies. And it's tough for Genie to he can chain a lot of attacks, but it can be hard for him to kill a high health fighter. So Yeah, I think this map is going to be really tough for Genie. He can pop through those passageways, but also a lot of these zones aren't very big here. He can't really attack from far away. He's going to have to be hit when he comes into attack a lot of the time if Boterham positions correctly, which we know he probably will. So I think that's a huge benefit for the little red player here. And that there's a couple tri-zone spots. Well, the one tri-zone spot, so you can get the knives off, the path off pretty easily if Genie tries to hide. There's just a lot of things going for red on this map. But we'll have to see. Although I guess this might have been Chad's map pick. Or did Chad just choose to have advantage again? He might have chose because he had advantage in the last game. So I don't know. Maybe Chad sees something about this map I don't see.
I think this was Chad's map pick. So I don't know. This will be interesting.
There is a chance that because you don't. It's your advantage. You don't have to take map,
actually,
right? He might have just taken advantage.
Yeah, I think Chad took position in the previous one on purpose because it was Houdini. And then I think this is Boterham's map pick. So
that makes sense.
Well, they're all set up, so let's hop over into Vorpal and see what happens for game 2. All right, so Chad does get to go first, which is pretty good if you want to be aggressive as Genie. The only problem is you're attacking into a wild card because Little Red starts with the basket as a wild. So
if you're Chad, here's a psycho thought. If I'm Chad, I want to mulligan if I have wishes.
Yes, I agree.
Because you're probably going to try and attack Huntsman first turn. And Huntsman probably has stones first turn. So you probably don't want wishes in your opening hand. So unless you spend it. Unless you just spend it and run.
Yeah.
Can you even attack Huntsman first turn?
The problem is you'd have to use your ability and you'd have to double maneuver to even reach Huntsman in the blue. So this is actually a really good map layout for Little Red going second here to hide Huntsman.
Unless she doesn't put Huntsman on the passageway. If she doesn't put Huntsman on the passageway, you can't attack Huntsman first turn.
There's no way Huntsman doesn't go on the passageway.
Sure.
I think you
We've seen
kind of have to. Yeah.
But you could attack red. I mean, it's not ideal, but maybe you're Genie. You just say, I might be able to kill red before you can get the heals off. It's unlikely, but it's doable.
I actually like that idea here because Huntsman has 9 health and he can block. That's going to take so much for Genie. But
yeah, you might just have to try and run red down.
Exactly. Just throw everything at red. Even if she plays the scheme to heal, she's not drawing cards or finding more defenses. So that kind of kills her tempo. Maybe you can just push through.
Right. And 8 health healing is less than 9 health on the Huntsman. I know it's not fully equivalent because Huntsman can block with less things than red can, so it's easier to get damage into him. But it's still something to think about. Yeah. And if anyone can just nuke red, it's Genie with the right turn. So
that's a really interesting thought, you guys. I'm curious to see what approach Chad takes here. They both kept their hands, interestingly enough, so they're both feeling pretty good. That I think might be a little more worrisome for Chad, though.
Yeah. Triple Wish turn 1. Discard 4 cards, draw 5 cards. Chad takes a third action. Double wishes.
If that's the opening, oh my gosh. We would all just lose it. I'm sure the chat as well. Let's see it. Ditch a card, take a maneuver, triple wish, and just blast him.
I think I would start crying if that happened.
Tears of joy or tears of sorrow?
Tears of joy. I would love that.
Well,
okay.
Oh, come on. Let's go. Let's go, Chadis.
Come on, Chad. Do it for the people.
Doing something here.
I think regardless of who you're rooting for in the overall outcome of the match, everybody wants to see something like that happen. That's just peak content, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the one maneuver game, round 2.
One maneuver game did happen on this map.
It's true. And Chad was one half of it.
Yeah, you're right. This could happen again. I really like this attack first because red has no defensive movement effects. So let's say red defends and it's not a draw card. Then if you do happen to have 2 of the wishes, if you got that lucky, you could dump the entire rest of the hand. Ooh, wow.
Oh, it is the draw.
We're drawing cards today.
This is going to be an aggressive approach you can see from Chad already.
I love it. I want to see more of it.
Well, in that case, it's really good for Boterham that he had this draw card.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow. Not every day you see both fighters at 7 cards in hand on turn 1 and still a combat interaction remaining.
Only in Genie games. I love this fighter.
I love Genie too. He's so much fun.
Well, these are both like top 3, top 5 fighters for me.
Chad's third action here, unless shenanigans.
Yeah, there are no action gain shenanigans for Genie or Red, so this will be the last action.
Genie has an action gain.
Yeah.
Genie has. Oh well, I guess if Red doesn't defend more than a 3.
Oh!
Wow!
Beautiful feint.
Great feint to the stones.
That was beautiful.
Very nice.
That is some great stuff there.
I think you don't want to be really defending with feints too often because, for one thing, Red's not going to attack you that often. And for 2, when you defend with feints against Red, you're always risking the mind games, those 50-50s with like the baskets or the ears, punishing your feints and wasting it. So offensive feints against Red are a lot safer. That was a good one. Yeah, Boterham knows. Chad knew what he was doing there.
That's real.
Yeah. We got Dark Blade into Twitch chat saying that this feels like a Full Send Friday opener.
Oh, geez, you're right. Shout out to Full Send Friday.
How the game was meant to be played.
For real, look at this. Already so much action.
I gotta imagine this is a hands take back that stones.
Peter, that was a great call with the hands or even the eyes, just because Genie doesn't have great options, because he's not going to, like, once you deal more damage to Genie, you can defend with Lamp safely against offensive eyes and feel great about it.
Yes.
But, wow.
All right.
They're just blitzing through this game.
Yes.
Chad hasn't hit a wishes yet.
Oh,
like.
Is there a mouth coming in? Ooh, no, just
Holy
a wolf skin.
cow.
Oh! It's after. Wow.
All right.
And
Flowers on
he's
top.
gonna have knives on top, but wow. Sultans.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Look at
that
these.
You ditch the basket? You gotta ditch the basket here, right?
Well, you're ignoring Huntsman this game.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're going to kill Red.
Yeah, you ditch that stones and then you just beat it.
You don't think you ditch the basket?
No, because then you have all your effects triggering. Genie's got another action, I believe.
Yeah. No.
Oh, he does. That's right.
Yeah, it's just choosing cards for
another
Red to discard is
2 actions.
Symbols is always
and because of Defender resolves first, it does actually go on top. Because if Red was attacking, it would go under the wolf skin.
Shouldn't the knives
but it
still
doesn't.
be on top?
Yeah.
Oh, it should.
Yeah.
Wait, should the knives still be it?
Yeah.
They should.
It's not that matter.
Okay. Well, what's he doing with the wishes? Drawing 5? Oh my gosh, he's trying to kill him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but somebody should stop the
Yeah,
players
let's
and
stop.
let them know they're on top. It doesn't matter because we know what Boterham has in hand, but still good to keep everything in check.
Yeah, so it's always going in last, so.
I love this from Chad. It's entirely possible that Red just dies here.
Well,
It's
how
also
many
entirely
actions does
possible-
Genie have, though? Does he have 2 left? Or
Yes,
1?
2 left, John.
Okay, there is a chance, you're right, that Red could die here because
He
that
doesn't
2
have
doesn't stop
wishes.
the action gain.
No.
He needs to draw more cards if he needs wishes.
Oh,
It's the
love
basket.
it.
All right.
Wow.
Chad can gain an action if he's got it.
And then
And Red
draw
takes
5
damage.
more.
Yeah.
Did Red take the damage? He did.
Red did.
Oh, has he got wishes?
I don't know.
No, he doesn't have
Show it
wishes.
me.
It's got to be
Oh.
action gain.
How many cards does Chad have in hands? 8?
8.
8.
This is Red's last defense.
Honestly, you'd like the auto damage
and
one
it's
as
a
well.
mouth.
Right? 3 damage to 3 damage each, and then Red's defenseless, running for her life.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
she can heal. But she has mouth. She can heal for 6 right now.
Not drawing defense.
Oof.
Wow.
Oh, he is taking the action gain.
Love it.
Yeah,
Well, that's not action.
Oh
That's
no, it's
auto
the
damage
damage.
here.
It's the damage.
that's still fine. You're gonna overdraw
Okay.
anyways. Punch her in the face.
So shouldn't he be down to 7 health, Red?
No.
'Cause she was at.
Red took 1 defending with a 2 from under the wishes, the wishing for more wishes, and then
Yep.
took 1 auto damage from the red card into the basket, which puts her at 12.
12,
Right?
and then she takes 5. Yeah.
12 plus 5, yeah, minus 5. Yeah, you're right. So 7.
Well, they
I'm
figured out
letting
just the
somebody on the
exact same
desk
time
do
we did.
math. That's not my fault.
Well, we saw.
But here,
Chad
but
there
there's
working at the same
but basically that 5 damage is getting healed 4 of it right now. I think you just take all 6 healing.
But Peter,
I
if
think-
you play the thing,
Oh,
the
no, you
problem is
can't.
you might not get any more defense, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
like, that's what we talked about. You play the scheme. You have no tempo. We know you have no defenses.
Yeah, you've
Well, he's got
gotta
1
get-
defense. He's got the mouth.
He does have
yeah,
1.
but 2.
I think you got to throw the healing here and then maneuver. I don't think you can. Maybe you can maneuver and then heal.
Yeah, this one sure will be quicker than the first one.
Yeah, I like maneuvering first before the healing first before the maneuver.
Really?
Yeah, because I think
Could have
it gives
seen
you.
what your next card was first, right? And then you have
guess
more
that's fair.
information to work with.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. For me, it's like it's
Well, now you
it's
can
just a
boost,
matter of
basically.
It's a mind game thing. Just you can boost now. You're gonna boost anyway with
You're
the
gonna put
knives.
Huntsman right up front, put Red where Huntsman
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Oh no.
No.
Don't do
no,
that.
John, like this.
Don't do that.
That. Yeah.
Well,
Real. If I'm Chad, I know
He
that
might-
Boterham has all of the axes.
that
in
was
hand.
it.
I want Boterham to slam that axe into me so I can draw 5 cards.
You know.
Take your ability.
Take-
Oh, grant you death coming out.
So at most, let's see, Boterham has 2 defenses, right? At most.
Oh
Yep.
no,
It's
Chad
just
moved his
so-
deck to the side. Now he's hand to the side. I think we're gonna see a lot of drawing this turn.
Yeah. Well, like, has this been like every genie turn he's discarded?
Yes, every turn.
Yeah.
The problem too is we know Mouth isn't triggering here, and that's one of 2 potential defenses.
Do you
Yeah.
care if Mouth triggers here? Even if it did,
Mm.
I don't think you care, right?
Well,
now.
right, but I'm just saying,
I
that
think-
if that's his only defense, I mean, he might just have to take. Oh
I think
my
I
god!
think you take. Oh wow!
All right, let's. See
And if he lost the combat, he would have dealt 1 to the Huntsman, which is crazy. Right? It's an adjacent opposing fighter, not the
Yeah,
adjacent-
you're right.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't think that's gonna matter at this point, but that is
No,
funny.
but it would have been funny.
Now this is tough because I don't think Chad necessarily wants to pop a draw 5, go up to 9 cards, because then if Boterham does have like a basket or a stones to negate an action gain, ooh, he's going for it.
Well, Chad.
What do we do
just-
it? Oh,
Full
man.
send Saturday
Full
here
send
today.
Saturday.
Full
We are
spend.
Well, it's got to be action gain, right?
Look-
Guaranteed right here, 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
We'll see
it
if
has
Boterham
to be
drew.
something that has discarding cards.
Wow, and it's not it. That's not
Ooh.
it. I think Red's
You're
dead.
not taking 3 damage. You're taking everything, buddy.
I think Red is dead
I think Red is dead.
because you know
Well, he
her
only
last
has
defense.
1 more action though,
But he
right?
could play another action gain, and you know Red's last defense is the mouth.
He has to
Holy
have the
cow.
last action gain.
Oh man.
Chad
The genie
discarding
does
the lamps.
genie
I don't need
things.
these.
Wait, if you're red, do you take this one?
I don't think you can.
Well, but if it's the action gain, it's a 3.
I don't think Red's dead this turn, but I think she may die next turn.
Yeah, I don't.
But she
think
still
Red
has the heal, remember? And the mouth gives her a +4 healing.
That's true, but that's
'Cause
your
the
last
mouth
defense, and then your
is
healing
about-
is a card you're not drawing.
Oh no, mouth is Wolfsbane, right?
Oh,
Ooh, he's taking it.
Down.
Oh wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and he gets away from the huntsman.
Yeah. I would like to point out, Red has no after-combat movement. If Chad
Yeah.
finds another imprisoned Wrath, Red needs her eyes, or else she's just dead.
Well, she's gonna hide in the pocket now.
Yeah, she's gonna hide in the pocket.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, if she does that, she can't hide in the pocket.
Right. We'll see.
Oh boy.
She's got to leave. She can't. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the.
she can't maneuver like that, or then she can't hide. Okay, yeah. Oh. Oh.
No. You can send Huntsman through. No, wait. Oh, wow.
You have to leave Huntsman on the. It's doable. You just can't do it.
The
that
problem, I think,
positioning.
he's thinking you can't hide in the pocket from adjacency as well as playing your scheme unless you boost. And if you boost, you may not be setting up the right symbols that you want.
Yep.
Okay, he's found it.
He is just gonna, looks like, double maneuver and then go to the pocket. I mean, but
I don't know
again,
if
Red
the
has
pocket
that-
really protects you. He's got to heal. You can't be at 2 health.
Because, yeah, it's.
Oof.
Somebody in the
I think
chat
that's-
pointed out that Genie has drawn 16 cards from his effects this game.
Oh my god, look at the deck counts. 7 to 15.
Yeah, I know.
I love this character.
I will say I'm a little bit concerned for Chad not having enough damage to close it.
Yeah.
He's got to really
if
make
Red
this...
drew 2 defenses.
This turn right here really has to count. Yeah, right. If Red drew 2 defenses, it could be very bad. Even if Red drew 1 defense... Oh my gosh. That is interesting.
Oh.
I like it. But Chad can still just double maneuver with ability, but Boterham is preventing a double
He can't
attack here.
double attack.
Yeah.
Ooh, good position. Oh, wow.
Okay,
That
is
was
there a world
great
where
positioning
Chad
by
uses
Boterham.
ability, maneuvers, and boosts with wishes and gets a
Yeah.
double attack?
Absolutely.
I think if I'm Chad, I'm thinking about that play.
I think that's the right play.
He's
For
taking
sure,
ability.
considering it.
We are. This looks like.
Yep.
Oh, with feint?
Wait a minute. If you have wishes though, and you set values to 4, can you confirm lethal? You can't because she has
You
the
can't 'cause
flower.
of baskets.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's got baskets still.
Well, if you played a 2 auto damage attack that's a 4 value, right? Your 2 auto damage will kill. Oh, but the 4
okay.
doesn't even kill over a 3 like a feint. So.
Yeah.
Full send.
Ooh, this is crazy. What a game.
That was incredible positioning by Breadman.
Yes, breadman. I love it. Boterham means bread in Dutch or some other language.
Dutch, yeah.
That's hilarious. What a great name.
I would love to see a Freed here.
You might need that auto damage from Freed, right?
Yeah.
I think no. I would like it too because it will lethal over any of the 2s. I think you've got to throw something that will kill if Red doesn't have the proper defenses.
Yep.
Oh, boosting in.
See, I was thinking
Whoa.
We need to be
Freed, if she
adjacent.
survived, you
Yeah.
bounce down, and then maybe if she makes a mistake and attacks, you kill her.
Wow, and he
Now-
got it. Holy
got it!
cow! 5 damage.
Wow.
Wow,
Oh,
that's it.
no.
So I can't
Oh, my
believe Red didn't
word.
play the healing if you didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, she was going for another defense.
She went to draw for another defense, I guess. I think you just got to play the healing. 2 is too dangerous.
Let's listen to see what they
Wow,
have to
wow,
say.
wow.
Wow.
Right, I guess I knew the only defense you had.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
But I guess it's
But you
still.
were yeah, you were pretty safe, I guess. So I did have Freed. So I could have first action attacked here, hopped here, done 1. But that wouldn't have been enough. So yeah, I drew 1, so that puts you down to 4. Then I attack you with this, put you down to. I would have put you down to 1 again. So it wouldn't have quite killed you. So yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess this would have been better.
Wild game.
That's
Yeah, so
insane.
I had Sultans, right? I took a look at your hand. You drew 2. I'm like, what is it? But yeah, you drew 2, and then it wasn't. I think it was just more healing and more. Of these
Yeah, it
guys.
was all the stuff.
but then I drew 5. I wish I had 2 wishes in hand. I wished to drew 5 and got none of the like gain in action, and I was like, ah. But I was thinking maybe hindsight. I attack with this first. If you throw your basket, I deal 1 to you, and then I draw 5 for wish to see if I get an action, and then maybe if I'm feeling crazy, draw 5 again to see if I can get it, because I know you can't stop it. But I think that probably would have been a mistake, especially if I whiffed, because I would have had like, I don't know, 14 cards in hand.
You just ditched like 5 of them.
I know, and I only have one left. So if I didn't get that one, it would have been.
Oh my gosh, what a game that was. Like I said, there's 3 ways to play Genie, mainly. There's the combo kill Genie, there's the fatigue value Genie, and then there's that we just saw. And that is, I'm sure, everybody's favorite Genie to see. And what a game that was.
That game can only be described as an unmatched chasm. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Sultans into all the Huntsman cards into, well, guess I'm going crazy now.
I mean,
Incredible.
you have like aggressive Genie games, and then there's like what we just witnessed here, which is something like, yeah.
That is something else. That's a next level of aggression. Just
That belongs in a museum.
yes, that was incredible. Why is it that all the games on Baskerville are just so entertaining?
That's crazy. I don't think Boterham could have done pretty much anything else, right? Except for maybe healing the 2 at the end. I think that might have saved him, but I don't know if he still then had to draw into another defense that could survive. So
yeah,
who
he
knows?
was constantly. That's the thing is because Chad saw the early hand of all Huntsman cards plus 2 defenses, he knocked 1 out that very turn. And Boterham was just stuck with a mouth, and that's like not the defense you want in that situation, because you're not trying to kill Genie anymore. You're just trying to live, and that card doesn't help you live at all. So from that point onwards, Chad every single turn used ability and pressured and put Boterham in the same exact situation that he was in the previous turn. It's like, okay, did you draw defense? Well, if you did, I'm knocking them out, and now... okay, now are you going to draw them again and again and again, right? You just keep repeating that cycle and keep asking him the question, did you find your defense? Eventually, you're not going to find what you need when Genie's putting on that much pressure and your health is that low. So really well played by Chad. That was just an incredible game. I do wonder if Boterham had maybe maneuvered and boosted the first maneuver, or maybe not even boosted. I think you'd have to boost if you want to put red in the pocket in the corner and then use the healing, because I think the way they were set up, Huntsman would have needed to boost to get in front, because if you can block adjacency, you shut off a lot of Genie's auto damage, and every little point of damage mattered immensely at that point in the game.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was a safer play than blocking the portal with the Huntsman. It's hard to tell if that would have even mattered, right? He might have just not drawn into defense the following turn, and then Genie wins the next turn. But there was only a couple of turns left that Genie even had, because he turboed through his deck like a maniac, drawing 1,000,000 cards, which was just so cool to see. So I think that was a really entertaining match right there by both players, just drawing a ton. We saw 2 out of 3 wolf skins drawing cards. What a game that was. That was really cool to see.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, but now we are going to see a game 3. Everybody loves a game 3. So we're going to see Annie Christmas versus InGen. And Alex, you probably have played maybe the most like TTA out of us 4, I would imagine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you have any insight on the Annie versus InGen?
I can't say I've ever played that one personally, because on paper, that sounds terrible for Annie.
Yeah.
And I play with Animal a lot. He plays a lot of InGen. He's really good with InGen. I hate InGen.
Yeah. All my homies hate InGen.
Yes!
InGen is like, to me, the first Electra, in that the most annoying fighter to play against. I'm sorry, I'd rather play against Sun Wukong than InGen, because if I'm losing against Sun Wukong, at least I know I'm going to lose from the beginning. You know? InGen is just like, oh, really? I gotta deal with these little jerks. And you always feel like you have a chance, but you never really have a chance.
Yeah, you feel like you have a chance until you see the second call for backup come out at the prime time, and you're like, well, okay, guess I'm not reaching you anymore.
I do think Annie has a chance here. She has a ranged psychic who can use a fair amount of cards. She has a swap. She has 3 got my backs, essentially, in Annie's deck, which once we go to, we could talk about them. But I think, she has a chance here. It's just a very different style of Annie than I think most Annie players would be used to. I have a theory, but I'll wait till we get into the cards to get there.
Let's take a look at Annie's deck. And Peter, I'll let you take Annie because I know you're a big Annie fan as well. So tell us about it.
I love Annie. I've been trying to make Annie work, and I'm still working out the kinks, but there's a lot of things she has here that I think are really good in this in-gen matchup. That Better Together is really nice because basically she's going to keep Annie, which is their 4-value versatile that can heal both fighters. She keeps Charlie and Annie next to each other. And then every time they attack Charlie, she can heal Charlie 1 because in Gen, his workers are basically small value attacks. So yeah, they're attacking a lot, but they're not for big value. So you can heal Charlie up a decent amount. Plus you have Slick Talker, which is that card I was talking about, the 3-value defense that can swap them. So you can swap Charlie for Annie or swap Annie for Charlie depending on the situation. Also, one card that's not here, but I'll just talk about it. Captain's Orders. There's 2 copies. It's a scheme which allows you to move 4 spaces, gain an action. Here it is. You place Annie, not move 4 spaces. Sorry, place Annie any space in her zone. I was thinking of of course, a different card. But then you could also place Charlie next to her. So you can really do a lot with that. You can put Charlie into in-gen zone. You can put Annie in right next to in-gen and punch him in the face. And that Pearls, there's one key text piece on that Pearls card that I think will be very important for this matchup if Bram isn't careful, which is each opposing fighter. Each opposing fighter means Annie can use the Pearls it's not optimal, obviously, but in-gen doesn't have a ton of great value blocks anyway. So you can use that Pearls to just clear out 2 workers if they ever get close to each other, which might be your goal with the Pearls, is to try and clear out, he's got 9 workers. You use 3 Pearls to clear out 6 of them. You really only got to kill 3 more. And then in-gen's really valuable. So we'll see if that comes into play. In my mind, I think Chad's got to be looking for that as much as possible with those Pearls.
All right, well, let's take a look at the next deck then, in-gen. And Alex, you probably have the most experience with in-gen playing with Animal all the time, so why don't you tell us about him?
Thank you so much, Don. With the in-gen, well, I'll just change the call for backup because this is the character. In-gen is a fighting game zone, whereas the comparison I was going to make before, he's going to make reaching in as annoying as possible because he's going to place trap, which stop your movement, and then he's got between 3 to 9 side decks that you have to get through. And call for backup is the reason why he can just summon this army of little dudes that you have to punch. It's going to be really annoying for Anne. Her ability is strong. If she's punching above her weight, the only way in which she can trigger her ability on a 1 HP side is if she's dead. So it's going to be difficult. Then, on top of that, we also see in-gen's Rending Shot here, which is a very unassuming card at first glance, but it moved Annie away. That's so annoying. You think you're finally making progress, you're getting close to in-gen, and him or one of his workers, or ranged by the way, and move 3, can send you to the other side of the map because we're playing on Solomon and we can push people through the passages.
That's great point about Solomon's. Let's take a quick look at the map here. And how much of an impact do you guys think this is going to make? I mean, the passages do help you get around, but with the workers being able to block off the passages as well as the traps, I mean, is Annie even going to be able to get in enough times on in-gen in order to, like, close out the game? What do you think?
Yeah, you've got another one of those little hidey holes that we have there on Baskerville that we just saw, just here on the top left, where you can, drop someone that you want to protect into that leftmost spot, and then the other one next to him, and then you really can't get in unless you're ranged, which Charlie can do, and Charlie can put in work, but Annie is going to have to get in there and do some actual damage to Muldoon himself for her to be able to put it out. Charlie's not going to be able to do it all.
Yeah, he can't do it all. So
this map makes life very, very difficult for Annie. However, two things to think about. You mentioned if Muldoon is laying down traps to cover this, that's really good for Annie. Annie will happily step on a trap, move Muldoon closer to fatigue, and go lower in health. You want Annie at that 8 health range. That's such a good place for you to be early in the game. And if Boterham isn't careful and is placing a bunch of traps, Annie's like, oh, I'll take that one, I'll take that one, I'll take that one.
Sure.
And here's a card, take a card, take a card. And if you're popping off the sidekicks, she can kill sidekicks on defense, don't forget. If you're popping off those worker boys, that might be her win con, is to try and somehow fatigue him and kill those sidekicks as fast as they arrive. But this is not a fun place for Annie to be.
Right.
In a mine.
If anyone's gonna pull this out, it's gonna be Chad, right? He can do the impossible. So looks like they are set up. Let's head over to Vorpal and we're gonna see how this ends here. Game 3, let's go.
Game 3 for all the marblies.
Annie Christmas versus InGen. This is probably a matchup people have not seen much of, so I'm very curious to see how this goes. So they both kept. They both kept their hands.
They both kept, which is nice.
I think as Muldoon, you always, well, I was going to say you always mulligan for a call for backup, but the problem is you're going second against a potential first turn attack with ranged Charlie. So I do think you need to be more cautious of your defenses than anything else. So Boterham might have kept because of defenses, but he may not have call for backup, which means if Chad can clear out some of these workers quickly, InGen might be in some trouble.
Do you think you even go and attack this turn? I mean, it's such a... Maybe if you have Slick
100%.
Talker, you do.
I think 100% you attack with Charlie.
You have to have Slick Talker to do it, though, to me.
I think you just pressure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't think you even need Slick Talker because I think Charlie has enough defenses that he can take some attacks. And you're going to have hand advantage here, right?
That's true.
Just from going first, at least by 1 card.
Yeah, and talking about this being a game that a match people haven't seen much, there is one logged matchup of this and UM League.
Wow, only one, huh?
Only one in there.
Okay, what was the result?
What was the result?
Exactly. I was just about to say this. I was just about to say, if I have the better together, I'm throwing it here because you almost always want to feint Charlie's stuff so you can get 2 damage on Muldoon. Yeah.
Amazing.
It was brilliant. Because Muldoon is gonna feint if he's got it 1000% of the time. So if you've got the better together, you throw it. Because he also kept, which means he probably does have a feint.
So you're saying you feint on Charlie, not on Annie? Is that why you're expecting the feint?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie's got Slick Talker bottom dealing is 1 damage. Turn in the River is no damage. And then Long Shot is 1 damage. Those are all cards that Charlie wants to be throwing on offense. So it's much better to throw that against Charlie than against Annie, of course. And you expect, oh, well, he's going to save the better togethers for healing. And so if you just throw it, it's just 2. And you're going to need to find a way to kill Muldoon, And he doesn't have a ton of health. He's just got a lot of body blockers.
Right. And do you think we are going to end up seeing Pearls be used on sidekicks because it kills all around Annie? So if you can find some pockets, you might be able to surprise kill more than 1 worker at a time. And I don't know how aware of that effect Boterham is because it's not something you would really think about if you're not
that's why
very experienced.
That's why I think it's so important. Like, especially if you go to try and block 2 passages. Like, if he goes right now and tries to block 2 passages.
Right, both brown
boom,
passages.
Pearls is double. Look at that right now. I don't know if she can get there. She might not be able to get there.
How does Captain's Orders work again? Does it move the sidekick first?
Into a zone. It moves Annie into a zone.
Sidekick.
Okay, place Annie and then place the sidekick. So you could get Charlie ready, but you want to be able... It gains an action, right?
Gains an action, so you could do that, then maneuver.
Pocket.
I mean, that's
Okay.
okay. Oh,
Still, if you
oh,
can get, you
boy.
you can't get to the pocket
Unless you have captain's orders. Captain's orders into a maneuver.
Yeah.
You don't have to place Charlie.
Oh, you're
it's a
right.
May, so she can put herself in that and just pop.
Chad's doing it if he has it, 100%, I think.
If he has it, Chad sees that. Two
Captain's
workers
orders.
and two in Muldoon.
Oh,
he doesn't have it.
That would have been so juicy.
Yes. But, it's definitely something he's thinking about for sure.
He sees that.
Attack. You can still attack with Charlie. I think you just keep doing that every turn. Heck, I would probably...
Yep, and you got them next to each other.
Do you have... It's hard to say, like, when you pop traps with Annie, right? Because you don't want to give him hand advantage necessarily to find what he needs, but also you kind of do... You're going to have to get Annie in with her ability, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this positioning play from Chad?
I love it. She's saying, hit me. And if he's going to have to expend a lot of resources to get him to hit Charlie, he has to boost. I guess he doesn't have to boost 1, 2, 3. He has to boost with a 1 at least. That's something to hit Charlie.
No, you don't have to hit. You don't have to boost it, Charlie. You just go through the passage, right?
Right, yeah. 1, 2, 3. No, you still have to boost 1 because he's in pure green.
No, you just go to the blue-green passage right there.
Oh, the blue-green's. Oh, duh. Yeah, he's not standing on it.
Right.
Can't Boterham pin Charlie right now? Theoretically.
He could. Does Charlie have a way out of a pin?
Slick talker.
Swap.
Besides captain's orders.
Okay. Annie's 3 value versatile moves either fighter or.
Ooh. Ooh, you hate to see one of those gone.
Yeah, at least feints aren't the most important thing here.
No.
But blocking a regroup doesn't feel good. But a maneuver afterwards definitely does.
Well, Dune's running scared.
Well, I think he has to.
He's protecting himself.
Yeah. Because he's
He may have seen that
a
pocket
coward.
that was before.
Exactly, he's a coward. not Boterham, just Muldoon himself,
Yeah. Boterham is great.
Great guy, I'm sure, but Muldoon.
Okay, I really like him pulling back the worker. I was going to say Annie can take a single maneuver and attack the worker without any counterattacks immediate. So I really like Boterham pulling that worker back out of the tri-zone to the solo yellow. Very, very well done there.
He also avoided the captain's orders pearls triple kill.
That would have been beautiful.
Yeah, see, I don't like this positioning from Chad on the previous turn with Charlie because now, I mean, I know Charlie's very valuable, but now what's he doing, right? He's stuck boosting for like a mediocre turn. I guess
that's a good point.
You can boost in and attack with Charlie.
I think he might have been trying to bait Muldoon into coming into the corner there. I think that was, if I'm guessing, knowing Chad, I'm guessing that's what he was doing. Trying to bait Muldoon to maybe pin into a slick talker or something.
Sure.
All right, Chad 100% has a slick talker based off of how he's been playing this.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't good.
But 2 feints gone.
Yeah, but I'm sure Chad would have wanted the card draw here.
The draw. Yeah, Current the River is really nice. And now he's open to a double attack. You have to imagine he's got a slick talker
At
here.
least the double attacks can't be too brutal because it could be shoot her is the best thing, but you don't have any traps adjacent, so you don't really have to worry too much about other things.
Yeah.
And you can't place any traps because the worker's in the way, and you can only place traps on the empty spaces.
Isn't there 1 spot you can place? Oh, no, you can't. Yep, slick talker. Yep, so there's 2 to Annie. Now if I'm Annie, I try and take 1 more damage. Stand on that trap. Go to that trap. Go down to
Lanyap
one
is
below
primo, right?
Uh-huh.
But the problem is you're not
be
reaching Muldoon. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, how are you ever going to hit him?
Yeah.
You ask him very nicely.
Wow, no way is Boterham moving.
Why would you leave?
I mean,
he's like, never mind.
You can't camp forever, though. That's the problem. With Charlie alive, you can't camp forever because Charlie will just keep peppering you with nonsense, and eventually you're gonna break, right? You only have 10 defenses as Muldoon. You have 3 leap aways, 3 feint, 8 defenses. Sorry, You have 3 leaps, 3 feints, and 2 of the blues.
2 blues.
And you've already used 2
I've hunted most
feints.
things that can hunt you.
Yeah, you're
He
definitely
does have 3
saving
regroups.
3 regroups, sure. I mean,
You also have the 2. The workers also have 2 extra
Charlie's in
defenses.
single maneuver range now.
single maneuver of what?
Of a
Charlie.
worker?
Yeah, but with such a hand disparity, I think Chad takes a minute here to reposition and gain cards.
Yeah, you can't. The decks are pretty even. Not that it really necessarily matters that much, but you might. There is a world where you can win this in fatigue if Muldoon doesn't play it right, but you have to
Definitely.
start playing. You have to play as if you're not going to that at the beginning.
Right. You have to pivot
pretend,
into it.
and you have to act like you're going aggro, and then suddenly pull back. And Muldoon's like, "Wait a minute, I'm 6 cards less than you," and you're like, "Haha, I tricked you."
I do like how Chad's playing it, though. He's just playing slow and steady. Like, let's just go in when it's opportune. Otherwise, we'll kind of back off. I don't think Annie's the kind of fighter where you can go hyper aggro. Like, you need Charlie to survive this whole entire game, or else I don't think you're winning.
No.
Because of positions like this, where Muldoon can hunker, you need Charlie to be able to hit from range and threaten. Make
Muldoon
it hard.
still does have 5 passes as well.
Oh, for sure. Muldoon
not
has
fun.
got plenty of passes. The biggest thing is just where can Chad find openings to knock defenses away? And this would be a great one right here if he doesn't get pushed with a rending, right? A captain's orders into the blue to hit Muldoon. That's the kind of thing you want. Okay. Boterham playing very smart. Gonna stop that. I think you throw an attack on Charlie here, if I had to guess.
Yeah, it seems like a great time for a rending into Charlie.
Yep.
Push him into the trap.
Quite a pair would be really nice for him to have, but we've already seen one gone.
You just take this if you're Charlie. Do you need more defenses when you're lower in health? There is something to be said for, like, it's probably not a huge value attack. You'd rather have a defense when you're lower in health.
Sure. That was a good rending. You can do it better together, just a blank 4.
That's not great for Chad.
Now rending is going to push. Probably. Well, if you push into a trap, though, the problem is that you're setting Charlie up for a double attack on Muldoon.
Oh, that's true.
Granted, Muldoon probably plays one of his movement defenses, but still, like, do you want to give him a free attack? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's just moving him away.
Yep, I agree with the position there.
Yeah.
And there's no way right now for Annie to get... Well, Annie could get into green in a psycho way with a maneuver boost, pop Charlie onto the trap, and put Annie on the green afterwards, then captain's orders into that spot. There's so many weird things that happen on this map.
I like Chad just picking off a worker. I think 2 workers makes your life like twice as easy. It really makes a huge difference. Killing off 1 worker versus having all 3 for Muldoon.
Yeah, but
if I'm Annie and
killing off the workers tends to be a temporary reprieve, though.
That is definitely true. I'm surprised Chad's going to go right up in the worker's face here.
And it worked.
Well, I think he's not going to attack Annie, right? Yeah, he's going to just keep going after Charlie constantly. Very annoying for Chad. Charlie's not going to get any rest until you pick off a worker and make one of the workers who's protecting Muldoon come out for the attacks, because then that's how you create your openings with Annie. Okay, he's putting Muldoon in danger.
Yeah.
From Charlie, that is.
Oh, man. Well, so he also has opened himself up
Slick Talker
to
double attack.
Slick Talker, Maneuver, Captain's Orders, Triple Pearls.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that would be absolutely massive if Chad can pull off one of those.
I think Chad has to look for the Triple Pearls. It's going to be... Although, then Boterham just brings them all back, because that's Muldoon.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
It-
thing.
but the psychological damage.
If Annie gets an opening right now with the health totals as they are, oh my gosh, what a take.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, you feel like a
Pajolis.
boss when you do that.
Oh, that was game changing. Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
And a pass gone. I mean, it's what you want to throw away, but also it's a pass.
Insane.
Woo!
Like, remote
Come on.
detonation.
Let's see it.
Gosh.
I'd like to point out something about remote detonation. Andy can play Mississippi Queen to survive on 1 health, like guaranteed. But if Annie's on 1 health, you could possibly kill her with a remote detonation.
Yes,
so
remote.
taking that on is really good.
Is he boosting to get to that? Oh, come on.
He's attacking
Chad.
with
Oh, no, he's
Charlie.
attacking. I think he's...
I think you're
He's
fine
attacking
with
with Charlie.
this.
Yeah.
Bottom dealing, I gotta assume. Long shot.
Ooh,
Okay.
long shot. Okay, still
That
one.
cut damage no matter what.
Yeah, no more feints. Only 5 more defenses for Muldoon. So
Wow.
what I was saying before is at these health totals, I think if Annie gets an opening on the man himself, she has to throw a lanyap because you need the big damage. You can use pearls later, but you might not get opportunities to hit with your ability on, right? Because once your ability finally
Good
turns
point.
on late game, you might not even have any chances to reach Muldoon.
Ooh.
So that doesn't matter. It's a full wash because it's actually going to give a healing to Annie, which is bad, I think.
Yeah.
Because now the lanyap doesn't trigger. Oof.
And it's not mace. They both have to heal.
Yeah.
Well, it triggered. No, it triggers because you maneuver onto the trap. You maneuver onto the trap before the captain's orders. So you take 1, go down to 12.
Okay, okay.
Trap.
You're right.
Lanyap takes you 1.
You can make it work with the trap. But I think Chad needs a lanyap at this health total.
Over the
to
triple
really-
pearls? You don't think taking out 2...
I don't know that you're ever going to clear enough workers to where it actually matters.
Hmm.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's really hard to say.
Depends on where the call for backups are, but you have no way of knowing that.
Yeah, and the
Right.
problem with if you go in and you don't lanyap, like, sure you get rid of 3 or 2 workers and 2 to Muldoon, but you're not knocking out a defense, which I think is what matters most.
Fair.
You can use pearls as passes if you absolutely have to in the late game, or even to just ping
That's
off
true.
1 worker, right, who's like threatening you, and that way you force a defensive worker to break formation, and that might give you another opening. So
That spot right there could leave any way to get in there.
I think he's going to
He's
maneuver
like,
that. I think he's going
wow.
to take up... Oh, no. Oh,
he's
captain's
not.
orders, pearls, lanyap would be
If he's
insane
got,
right
if
now.
he's got it, he
Oh, no,
can-
he's not on the blue yet. He's not on the blue yet.
but Charlie's in blue, so you get to place Annie in blue, right?
No, it's Annie's zone.
Oh, okay. So
Annie's
maneuver
down
into
and
captain's orders into lanyap still looks oh
Yeah,
my
slaps.
gosh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here we
Maneuver
go.
onto the trap,
Yes.
which we
Come on, Chad!
knew was
I
happening.
don't like this positioning by Boterham unless he's baiting Annie in on purpose and he's going to go hyper aggro on Annie and try to just kill her. I don't see that working out,
No, I don't either.
but maybe
I think in any
it's a thought.
case, Annie has to. I think in any case, Annie has to do it. If there's a chance
you have
get
to
in
right
here,
here.
you have to do it.
Yep.
Because if you don't,
You might
take
not
this
have
chance,
it.
You're not going to get another one.
If he
Chad
doesn't
might
have
not
it,
have it.
if he doesn't have it, why would he be positioning the way he is, right? He has to have
Yeah,
it.
good point.
Doing it.
Definitely
He's doing
has
it.
it.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah.
From the
Let's
top.
Do it.
I think the breadman saw that there was no way he could really avoid it unless he put that other worker on the trap up there.
I mean, eventually it's going to happen, right? But
It's gonna happen.
I don't know. I feel
Maybe
like
he
this
just...
this is 100% a
Yeah.
lanyap.
In the
Lanyap.
face, Chad.
Well,
He might not have
Chad,
one.
Well, now
Punch
he's.
him in the face.
it's a lanyap.
Now he's-
a
I'd have
lanyap.
to think it's a lanyap.
Is it a 4? Okay, so it's only going to be 3 damage.
I guess
Yep,
the card
yep.
draw, Chad doesn't necessarily want too much card draw because he is getting low in deck.
But they're pretty much even after that step on the trap, so...
Oh, that's true, but like you said,
Well,
Muldoon's
has-
got a lot of passes.
I think Muldoon did that because he was like, I can take it this turn. I've got the 4. Let me kill Charlie now.
Yeah. I agree.
I think he was like, I can get him. I could get Annie into this position over here and then wail on Charles.
It fortunately just draws some cards there, so.
Yeah. Now
Guys,
what happens? Slick Talker?
Yeah, there's one Slick Talker left.
What's your
There is
question,
one
Alex?
Slick Talker.
What's your question?
So we're all saying that Muldoon doesn't have a lot of defense, right? Then why does he always draw them?
Yeah, man.
Well,
I swear.
Yeah, I mean, chances are, though, you have at least one at all times, pretty much, because of your defensive formations, like buying you time. So, there's what?
He always has.
There's 4
He's
left.
never has.
This is hard.
Hate this spider.
The board is feeling pretty claustrophobic at this point. And with only 1 more captain's orders, I don't know if Chad's going to have enough. It all hinges on Charlie, really, right? Like, you have to just have Charlie be able to reach you, like, every turn.
There's no more feints, so bottom dealing is going to go pretty crazy.
Potentially.
Bottom dealing is frequently sick.
It might win.
It might. So you can make it a... If the first one's a 6, the second one's a 6, which is the nice thing about it.
But if the first one's a 4, the second one might also be a 4.
It'll be a 4, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, man. Chad is thinking. Chad probably has his last better together, and he's trying to decide if it's worth using here. I don't think he has a Slick Talker. I think if he has it, he uses it immediately.
Do you ever use a long shot on
Or maybe he takes the first one because he knows it's 5. I don't know.
There's no way you
This
take a
attack
5
is-
willingly, right?
No, but this attack is definitely a 5. It's either a shoot her or a 5.
Yeah,
They
it's
should
probably a
all be.
long shot debate.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 damage to Charlie
Yeah, that's what I was
there.
thinking. All the 4s are gone now.
That's rough. But all the feints are gone too, so it's not like you need those for feint punishes. At
that's
least.
true. The healing on
If
Charlie
Muldoon,
would be
there's no
nice,
way
though.
Muldoon attacks again, right? Because then he opens himself up to a double attack. Because even Rending Shot is not going to get Charlie out of the zone because of the trap.
That's fair.
Wow.
That's fair.
He is going to go. Oh my gosh. And you go into Annie even.
Oh, baby!
Holy cow.
That
This
was
is
not good.
But how do you... Annie can't punish this.
Charlie can.
Charlie
true.
still can double attack, and Annie could. If you move
Single
Annie onto the
attack.
trap, she can pearls 2 of the dudes. I don't know if that's any worth it ever. Probably not.
Yeah, at this point, there's Ingen's got 14 left in deck. I think you're trying to find places to pearls Ingen.
But Annie could do another Lanyap if Boterham puts her onto the trap, she'd take a damage, and then she could throw another Lanyap. You don't want the Lanyap draw at this point, but...
Oh, Chad can't double
maneuver.
attack. Oof.
Not happy to see that if you're Annie.
I mean, it's fine, because chances are Muldoon has a movement defense, right? So you probably can't double attack anyways.
Yeah, but you would have liked to be able to attack and force it out of him.
Well, you're still forcing it out of him because that's his only defense, is my point.
Oh, there we go. Yes, good
Okay.
call, Chad. I was about to... Oh,
I
wait,
really
is
like the
that-
pearls, because it guarantees the kill and keeps Charlie safe from a double attack.
Is that zone connected to that spot?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh. Oh, I missed that. Okay. Well, yeah, that was much worse positioning then.
Love that. Love that.
I thought it was only that one corner. Yeah, that's great for Annie. And now Muldoon, with 2 workers, it's going to be hard for him to avoid all 3 pearls.
Yeah, Charlie's running low on defenses, right? He's got no more Slick Talkers. He's got a long shot, a turn in the river, quite a pair. 1, 2, 3. Is that it?
Yeah, turn in the river, quite a pair, and a long shot, and then no more Slick Talkers.
Ooh, that's a problem.
But Charlie's not long for this world. But he's at 6 health, and Muldoon doesn't have giant attacks if he's not attacking first action. So
Does have second shot.
Yeah, second shot can be
He
a
does.
5 and definitely will likely be a 5.
yeah, because you're not going to get both call for helps.
2/3 of
Off
the
of
they
the
should all
team.
be destroyed gone though feels pretty good.
Yep.
That's one of the
Doesn't he-
better attacks. Okay, double maneuver feels good. Any turn that Charlie doesn't have to defend, you're feeling good about that.
Okay. Interesting spot.
And
he still has a captain's orders. I think if I'm Chad,
I think this is a double. I think this is a trap popping turn. Pop all the traps.
Yep.
Both of
Pop
them.
all the traps, exactly. Pop some traps, and I think you want to set up
3 of
now
them at least.
for a
Pop
crazy...
3 of the traps.
I don't know if you can afford to take one on Charlie. I think you want him at 6. I think 6 is a much better spot than 5, don't you?
I mean, yes, but like, if you can pop 3 traps, maybe you do it.
Is there any way you can pop 3 traps and then also keep Charlie safe from a double attack?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
there
just
is.
move Charlie through the red portal up to the first trap. Annie takes the trap to her left, and then Annie goes. Annie will be open to a double attack by workers, but who cares? Annie's at 8, which you kind of want her to start getting lower so that you can, you know.
But are you gonna ever get fatigue onto InGen? That's the question.
Well, you force him out of his little
still has
hidey hole,
3
right?
He still
Because
has
Annie has
3
the movement defense, so you can move. Wait, does it move her? It
that's
moves
true.
both, right?
It
Both
moves
people,
both.
actually.
Yeah, so Annie can easily take an attack here. Muldoon will start turn with 9 cards in hand. Annie can defend when Muldoon goes down to 8, and then force a maneuver.
Here we go. We might be seeing it.
Thinking about it here.
Or
Not
a second
even
shot.
Charlie, it looks like. Unless he does that here.
Yeah,
okay.
no. I'm okay with protecting Charlie one more turn. If I've got good attacks in hand, now's a good time to protect Charlie, you know?
I want to see the triple trap pop, but I mean, Chad's really good at endgame scenarios, so maybe he's already mathed out how many interactions Charlie can survive based on the health total that he's currently at.
I think that's what he's thinking. I think Charlie can survive a couple more interactions if you don't allow double attacks.
Okay. So didn't want to leave Annie out there, apparently.
Okay,
So,
I like this too.
Also, you're forcing Muldoon to maneuver and boost.
You're forcing him to
to
break
get
the
you.
formation, and that's the most important
Oh
thing.
no, that's that. Yeah. You've got a really good chance now with Captain's Orders. Captain's Orders, if you get yourself low enough, Captain's Orders into Lanyap is a guaranteed lethal at this point. Captain's Orders into Pearl's Lanyap. You can set it up. You just need to get, what, 1 more damage on Muldoon?
Pearl's Lanyap is not going to be lethal because you don't have your
Well,
ability.
you need 1 more damage. You need 1 more damage. Yeah, you need to get Annie low enough.
Which is not going to be easy. You got to go on a trap popping rampage and maybe force, like, take an attack, or maybe do it in fatigue or something. I don't know.
White of pair could be pretty good here.
Ooh.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah,
I actually
this
think that's
is-
okay for Annie. I think the card draw's okay here.
I don't like.
I don't know about
this.
that.
He
I
might be
don't-
the only. It might be the only thing Charlie had to defend
Yeah,
with.
I just don't like Charlie being at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gambling
There's a
man,
lot of-
he needs his bottom dealings. Oh no, what is this? A maneuver even?
Ah,
Oh, no.
An
man.
overdraw? Not good.
oh, this is brutal.
He's looking pretty okay for Annie.
This is like Charlie's last hurrah, and Annie's gonna
Yeah.
get fatigue and just not be able to reach InGen anymore.
No.
I think Chad's just giving him up with going for a bottom dealing,
Yep.
giving him up because he doesn't have.
You gotta try and get some damage in.
Yeah,
Leap away.
yeah, it's definitely.
Yep. All right.
bottom
Let's
dealing.
give
Has
this a
to be
3.
6. If it's not a 6,
You want?
I
It
don't see
needs
how
to be a
Annie-
6.
Oh, it's a 5.
That.
That wasn't.
Well,
If Charlie can live the turn, which I don't see it happening, though, is the problem. I wish I knew whether he put it on top or
put it
bottom.
on top. I'm sure. I think he put it on top. Oh, ditching a queen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You can't attack with it. It's not gonna matter.
Shoot her. I mean, he might still have quite a pair.
What do we have?
He might.
Okay, Chad put it on top.
Put it on top. Okay.
He's gonna
So
try
then
to
Chad
attack
might
with
thinks
it.
he can survive.
He does. Yeah, I think he thinks he can survive with Charlie, which
Maybe
if he,
he
has
has a
quite
long
a pair,
shot. If he has a long shot or quite a pair, he can
he
absolutely
can,
survive.
He can.
I think it's a guaranteed survival.
Yes.
If,
it would.
It doesn't even matter the order, I think. If one's a 5 full blocks.
You're right. It's a guaranteed survival if he's got those 2 cards.
I think, yeah.
But still, I mean, Muldoon has how many more defenses? Still 4 or 3?
Yeah, but if Muldoon tries to double attack this turn, he loses. He can lose.
Because of Captain's orders into... but...
Captain's orders into...
But the blue can save him.
Yeah.
If he's got the blue...
That's true. Well, you got to throw the pearls first. Then you throw the pearls and you lanyap. You deal 1 damage, and now you just need to find one place to get 1 more pearls in. Easier said than done, but doable.
But might be doable because the purple versatile lets you move both fighters. Right?
That's true.
That could create an opening that is absolutely crucial.
You're gonna, and also you'll need to step on the traps though to do it.
To force initiative.
Okay, if I'm Chad, I throw the cancel here.
There was a maneuver first.
So I can't
cancel.
Yep. So yes.
But do you have the pair?
Ooh,
I think he's debating. Does he even want to reveal them? He's debating if he wants to.
He's got the pearls, baby.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. No, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, now you with Slick Talker is almost guaranteed 1. Not a definite guaranteed 1, but almost guaranteed 1.
The problem is you don't have your bottom dealing yet. And you have to take a maneuver and end in the zone. Well, you can't.
How do you get there?
You'd have to boost.
You have to
1,
boost.
2, 3, 4, 5. Boost with a 3 boost. So boost with your last queen, maybe?
Oh, man.
I mean, I think you can boost with a queen. Maybe. I don't know.
I think you do.
Can you take it? Can you afford to keep Charlie alive for 1 more turn?
I think you have to boost in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need a 3 boost. Annie can pop the trap. Charlie will run up to the yellow and smack Muldoon. You really do need that one more damage, though. It's absolutely crucial. I need to move this stuff.
Oh man, this is who thought an Annie InGen game would be this mathy? Where are my math heads at in the chat? Math heads, give me some numbers. I can't see the chat, but type random numbers into the chat if you like math.
Okay, he's backing off
Like
with Charlie. He's not
65.
boosting. I would have loved, because that 1 value auto damage card is a
Versatile.
that's a 3 boost, right?
Yes.
Is it
that would've been-
Striking Beauty? He might not have it. I think if he has Striking Beauty, he's using it.
That would have been
Probably.
primo.
Oof, he's getting really low on deck though.
Yeah.
But I guess every time he's basically keeping it up. Boosting with the keep your hands to yourself. Oh,
He's
he's
got
just
3
discarding
of
it.
those in
He's
deck.
discarding because he's.
I'm surprised he's not. Well, Charlie's pretty safe. Huh.
He's gonna live
From
another
Muldoon.
turn, but like, does that matter?
what
Your
cost?
deck is getting so low. Even if you just maneuvered Charlie and attacked a worker with Annie, like, you know what I mean? You could have attacked this worker.
You know what, John?
I don't know.
Fatigue makes Annie lower in health.
That's true, and it also pops the workers, but you have to get there, and that's the problem.
You just gotta survive, and there's 1 more trap on the field, right? So you can attack with Charlie, pop a trap, and you basically don't. Boterham still has 4 passes. Never mind.
I mean, there's still a lot to think about in this game. This is nuts. Boterham's getting a little low on the timer. I wonder if that can definitely come into play, especially with a fighter like Muldoon, who has to even make a choice at the start of his very turn, whether or not he wants to trap. That eats up a lot of time, and if the timer comes back to bite him, oof, that's going to feel really bad for him. So he's got to make kind of relatively
I gotta
quick
imagine
decisions.
a tactical advance here to move that guy back to the brown yellow.
Yes. Definitely tactical advance, but Charlie doesn't have a lot of options, so he has to throw.
Throw the long shot,
my god!
Oh, the second shot! Ooh, that gives us
That was huge.
Oh wow! Charlie can gets that one last bottom dealing off.
Charlie, it's time
Pray
to
it's a
be a hero.
6. Come on, Charlie.
You can
Let's
do
get
it,
that 6.
Charlie.
I believe.
There's a reason she loves you.
Now, does Charlie have any more cards to use after this, or is that literally it?
That's literally it.
This is Charlie's final breath.
Come on.
Come on. 6, 6, 6.
Yeah. At least one. Oh my gosh, it was
Oh!
the 6. Holy cow. He needed that
You believe in miracles?
big time.
You put that to the top every time, right?
Do you?
Or you just no, maybe not.
Mississippi Queen's okay to show up late. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still have the keep your hands to yourself. Wow, now Charlie, you just let Charlie die. You if in fact if I'm Boterham, I attack with a 2 and don't boost it. So I get a double attack turn on Charlie.
Left.
I love that, Peter. I love that. Double attack, yes.
Does he still has a second shot left, I think, right?
Nope, that was the last second shot, though. There are no
Oh, okay.
2s. So actually, yeah,
Oh.
that would have been an incredible play, but
I mean, you could
unfortunately-
regroup, but then you get draw 2 cards. That's worse.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah, regroup into, I don't know, maneuver. That's the play.
But wait, that's all Rending's gone? No, there's one more Rending.
Rending, yeah, because Rending kills.
I just don't know if Annie's going to be able to get in enough times.
She just needs to get in once.
Once in the double pearls, huh? That's the goal?
Yep.
But still, it might not happen.
She just needs to get herself positioned such that wherever Muldoon goes,
What did we see
he
right
can
there? That was,
captain's orders.
what was it?
It was
Shoot her.
It was
shoot her. Yeah.
Okay.
And remote detonation as a. I hate that can be used as a pass. It's maybe my least favorite interaction in all of Unmatched because it's counterintuitive and doesn't need to be. It's a tool that doesn't need to be there for Muldoon.
Sure. I don't think we're going to see
Yeah,
any more
but-
traps. Boterham has enough workers.
But Annie can step on them. See if Annie does. No. Striking Beauty is a nice punch here.
Striking Beauty is an amazing defense if Muldoon ever attacks Annie.
True.
Because then you can
Muldoon's
get into
never
single
going to
pearl.
attack.
He
Muldoon's
might.
never
He
gonna
might have
attack.
to, though, because the workers might run out of things to attack with.
He's got 4 more. He's got 2 more call for backups.
Well, I mean, they might run out of attacks because they have what? Well, they have 2 tactical advances
2 more
and a rending
tactical
shot.
advances.
And a leap away, potentially.
Yeah, this week.
He's fine. He just needs to run away like the coward Muldoon is.
Yeah.
Again, not the breadman Muldoon.
Yes, and there's a chance that call for backups are still buried. Who knows?
Yeah. I think you got to throw a striking beauty here. You got to kill that worker. Because there's a chance he tries to keep that worker alive.
Oh my god, he's dead.
I like it. I like the confirmed kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's another confirmed kill, sure.
Yeah.
But
Now,
I just think
if
he's got to
Muldoon
call for backup here.
attacks, he remember, he doesn't want to attack.
Yeah, he can't. He's just going to go into the corner. He's going to call his little dweebs.
Yep.
He's going to
Boys.
run like the little baby boy he is.
This is a really brutal turn for Chad, too, because even if with a boost 3, he can't step on the trap. If he could step on a trap and attack a worker, that would help out in fatigue quite a bit, but he can't even.
I don't know what Chad does here.
This
yeah,
is
it's
really,
he
really
seems
brutal.
This is the Muldoon
is it,
problem. You
yep.
think you have a chance, and then you just don't.
Yep.
I hate him so much.
Agree. Then you still boost because you're going to overdraw anyways, and you pop the trap.
Sure.
Maybe.
And he's at 1 card in deck to Ingen's 5.
And you get double attacked.
Yeah.
Striking Beauty, you might need that 3 boost. I don't know if there's. I don't know what else you discard.
But I think you want to stay in the red to force Muldoon to maneuver twice.
I agree with that
or
play.
at least once.
It is a double maneuver or a boost.
We got here.
Oh no, Chad.
I'm curious what line Chad saw there.
Maybe he's baiting. Right?
I don't know what he can do here.
Wait, did Boterham boost?
Keep your hands to yourself.
Did he boost?
Did who boost?
Boterham
I don't think he did.
Can't breach with a worker with single maneuver, right? Am I wrong? 1 onto the portal, 2
No, he
onto the other
moved-
portal.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. 1. Wait, was Muldoon on the portal or was the worker
Yeah,
on the portal?
Muldoon's on the portal.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so he needed to boost that. Chad sees that. Hmm.
The thing is, can you get 1 tick in fatigue? I don't think you can.
No. Because that's still 2 passes.
How many spaces does the purple let you move? 2 each?
Yes.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can pop a
If it
trap,
was
attack
3,
as
it
a
would be-
pass, and then attack with that movement thing so that you're able to get out of a double attack.
Problem is, you can't use Lanyap damage if you're not. Oof. I think Chad, you maneuver boost onto the thing and pearls that worker. Crazy as that is.
Well,
But no, then you just got a double
Don't
attack coming
pearls.
at you, and
Attack
yeah.
with the movement one.
Oh yeah,
Because then you
maybe.
can move out.
Move out. Yep.
Because
But can you move out of the zone? Yeah, because that other worker. Yeah, you just go to that gray, yellow zone. What does he have to even boost with though that he wants to? He's got 1 pearls left or 2 pearls left.
2.
1 pearls left. 2 pearls left.
2 pearl.
Let's see. 2
Yeah,
pearls left.
2 pearls
Captain's
left.
orders. Hands to yourself. Striking beauty. Mississippi Queen and Lanyap.
Chad is like I said, he is the end game math it out king. If anybody's gonna find this lethal, this way to win, it's gonna be him. I
think
see
he
it.
boosts onto that
I'm
trap,
not sure.
and I think you're right, John.
Definitely
I think that's
has
his
to do
only
that.
option.
I think you gotta get you gotta get into the trap and make him draw again, but
Yep.
No, but he still has the passes. It doesn't matter
I don't think it matters either, but this is the
But
only.
because he still
Chad
has 2
is
passes.
Chad, and we're not Chad, so
Exactly.
As long as Chad can make it so passes are schemes and not attacks, I think that's his best shot.
What does that do? I mean, it's still a pass.
Okay, now Chad doesn't. Oh yeah, he does have to move back
1 spot.
1 space.
And
There's
Bram
someone
just
that-
calls for backups and
available,
remote
right?
detonations now.
yeah.
From him. You gotta move if you're Chad, yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see how Chad does this.
Yeah, especially getting rid of your last Mississippi Queen. I actually might have liked to save it there.
Yeah.
So that if you get down to 4, you can just if he tries to double attack you, you can.
Well, it doesn't
I don't
matter
know.
because going down
I
to
don't
1,
know.
then you die in fatigue on your following turn, right? So Mississippi
Well,
Queen
if you
is-
save it for your if you save your captain's orders, you're not dying in fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true,
know
but
that
you're-
are we gonna see Muldoon even attack again?
I don't think
No.
so.
I think it's over for our girl. I don't really see a way.
Chad has fought valiantly.
Yeah, you played this really well. This map is just really brutal. We're gonna see an attack
Oh, he's not in the zone.
with the worker. I like
That's not in
the
the.
play.
That's not in the zone.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, it is.
The
It is.
gray.
It is.
I like the play because Chad is in a spot where even if he defends with the movement thing, it doesn't matter.
No, he already used it. He doesn't have another
He's got
movement
one
thing.
more.
I think he's got 1 defense left. I think he's got 2. Does he have another?
Pretty sure he's got one more movement thing.
He's got 2 pearls, captain's lanyap.
Striking
Maybe you're right.
Beauty, that's the last
Striking
one.
beauty. I mean, this is just the 3, right? It's just the 3 always. Yeah, the movement doesn't get him into Muldoon's zone. Because if it did, you could...
If it did,
Yeah.
you could maybe pull off a
Attack the
lanyap.
worker into
Like,
a...
yeah, attack the
Well,
worker,
you could
then
do a
captain's
worker.
orders, and then lanyap.
Yeah.
I
I don't see it.
don't either.
I
Because
think you used... Yeah.
you have to make an attack on your next turn as Chad Well, you could
you
use
die.
pearls as a pass, actually.
It's true. You do have 2 passes.
But
That's true. You
so
don't have to use them for
does-
damage. You have
but
2
so
damage.
does Muldoon.
I think he's striking beauty. Oh, okay. Rending shock. Defender resolves first. You could have actually, if you striking beauty there, you could double pearls as passes. Potentially. And then Muldoon has to call for backup. Yeah, I might have actually striking beauty there if I'm Chad.
Then you take 2 damage, and that's a whole nother maneuver, right?
That's true. I guess that's the same thing.
I don't know.
So if you guys, oh wow,
or
I don't know if
not.
this is good. I think if I'm Chad, I maneuver pearls.
I agree.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's a huge mistake.
Yeah, I think you pushed Annie down to one of the solo blue spaces.
Chad very much might be regretting losing his last queen here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there was a world in
I-
which if he
yeah.
had queen, he wins this still.
Yep. I think so too. If Bram tries to just run, there's a world where Chad can win this. Oh no, because he goes down to 2. There's no way.
And then you die to a double attack.
Yeah, Chad gets 1 more turn. That's literally it. It's so close. I don't think there's a way for him to win though.
Yeah, you just do your double scheme turn
Let's see. So Chad has
right now.
what remaining? He's got a Pearls, a Lanyap, a Striking Beauty, and a Captain's Orders. Only 1 defense, and the defense is a 1.
Is a 1. Yeah, that's game. What do you? I mean, yeah, you just call for backup, and then you. Just
I mean, 100%
promote
if
detonation as
there's a pass, yeah. If you don't have the pass, okay.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
over.
I hate that. It's so dumb. What a dumb interaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It's so counterintuitive. Doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be in the game.
Poor Charlie had to defend with the card draw. That's what put him ahead in
Yep.
deck like this.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that Mississippi Queen actually could do something right now.
I don't think.
Well, not really. No, because then you just
Chad has
Captain's
to
Orders
end in
into a
zone.
punch.
He has to either
Yeah.
Pearls or attack here. And then Muldoon just hits you
You
with
just do
a
a 5.
5 or a
Yeah.
they should all be
Still a shooter,
destroyed.
like-
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
A 5 because you're gonna kill the worker. Yep. So he puts a trap down by you and hits you with a 5, and it's game over.
Yep,
Yep.
no matter what, because you only have a 1 block with anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that queen. Yeah, if he had boosted with a striking beauty instead of the queen, when he did. I still don't think he
still
has a win,
loses
though.
because
Yeah, 'cause
Boterham
just-
can attack as a pass and then maneuver and draw his last card, and
Yep.
it's so close, but just not quite enough damage onto Muldoon.
Oh, is Annie's land-yapping?
I
That worker? I imagine she is.
Honorable conceit.
I think he's gonna deal 2 damage to himself. I think that's knowing Chad. I think that's what he's doing here. And he has no win con.
I'm for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my gosh, there it is. All right, let's listen to see what he's got to say about that one.
That was good. Oh man, great game, great game. Oh
Yeah.
that matchup is way more fun than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think it still suffers from like the melee into Muldoon, but you have Charlie, which
Charlie, and he lived for like the whole game. I think every card that Charlie could play was gone by the time he died.
yeah, actually it was because I counted the defenses, and like you didn't have defenses left for him. You played these as well,
Yeah.
so I think you got full value out of him.
Yeah, I think my biggest mistake, at least that I can think of, was well, it was tricky because I wanted to get both bottom dealings. So it was when I played this. I can't remember. You attacked me with the boostable.
Yeah.
This was when he was at 6, and this was after I took the regroup. And I think playing the card draw really hurt me because I knew it would probably reach fatigue, and I needed, basically, if you had like one less card in deck, I think I had it. Because this, like, if you had no cards left now, you have to maneuver, all your workers die.
I think
and
I
then
still had it if I attacked with this.
yes, correct. Sorry, yeah. I mean, the math is way different.
Yeah,
so
but this is still
they
cards,
wouldn't have
of
ended
course, so
up in
that
this
would-
scenario. But what I'm trying to say is there would have been a scenario where after all your workers die from fatigue, then I can go in and hit with Lanyap for lethal. So that was what I was looking for. But I think playing this here, getting a little too greedy with Charlie, just to, because I played this to try and keep him alive. But he was at 6, so he wouldn't have died. But then I attacked with the first, second dealing, bottom dealing, and then I hit the second one. So like maybe it was a tough call either way. That was kind of my math. I had the 1 in hand, so I could have taken it and then just attack you, but then he would have died for sure. Right after that, if you attack with like a rending shot or something, push him into a trap, then he's dead. So yeah, I think maybe doing that was a little rough, but I'm not sure because you would have had more health. You would have had, I guess, 2 more health. Yeah, 2 more health because of that bottom dealing, which maybe it would have worked out because of fatigue. So yeah, I think that was probably the critical for me. I think not playing that, I might have still had it. I'm not sure. The math was so crazy that in that end game.
I know one thing for me, I shouldn't have, like, when I had the workers like this and I put Charlie was in here, I should have just put the workers like this or something to keep
absolutely
safe, because I knew you had one of the
Pearl
swaps left.
Or the swaps,
and I think you could also, oh no, Charlie was here, I think, or Annie.
Annie was here, yeah.
Oh yeah, so you could have also just Captain's Orders in.
Yep.
And I would have also taken a hit.
Yeah, so the tricky part for me was, do I throw the swap early? If I throw the swap on the first defense, you're definitely running away. So I wanted to throw it on the second one and hope that you threw another of the 4s so that Annie takes 2, then I had the other Lanyap, so I could hit you with it. But you threw the rending, but you couldn't push me into a trap because then if I attack with another Lanyap, then you take more.
Exactly.
So it was wild. Oh, this matchup, obviously, yeah, as you mentioned, the melee stuff was tricky, but I felt like other than this card draw, Annie could play more of a fatigue game versus Muldoon than I was expecting.
Yeah, you have like 3 passes as well.
Yeah. And not much card draw if I don't want it, right? Lanyap, I wanted the 3 damage, so that's why I chose it there. And then one of the Charlie cards got fainted. So the only other one was when I played the Charlie card, and I think that was probably a mistake.
Yeah, you can just choose not to play this, and you have like no card draw.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I'd definitely be interested in playing this again at some point. But regardless, it was amazing game, definitely. Amazing match. Congrats on advancing. That's huge. I think John and I were both expecting to meet each other, so this is a huge turn of events. First international
winner.
victor will happen tomorrow, so that's super exciting. So yeah, I mean, congrats, dude. I know you had said during the draft, you said maybe I'm here because I got lucky. But for my own peace of mind and also just commenting on your play, I don't think that's true. You played excellently. We saw a crazy positional game the whole game here, right? You were playing around Captain's Orders and also keep your hands to yourself, or can't keep my hands to myself, which is an insane card in this matchup if Muldoon ever attacks Annie. But generally, you're mainly attacking Charlie, right? So there's so much back and forth, and I think the commentators did a great job of showing off what was one or the other, but oh man, this was a great game.
I think maybe if the map was a bit different.
Wow, guys, that'll do it. So we have our second semifinal winner, Mr. Boterham. So taking the win there with InGen over Annie. That was a crazy game. I mean, crazy. Yeah, wow. Jeremy, was there any point in that matchup where you felt like the winner was decided, or was it like dragging you along all the way to the end?
It was really pretty much to the end there. I mean, it was just those last few little bits there because it just, yeah, just neither of them really seemed to just get any moment in there that they ever had like complete control of it. It's just kind of like it wound down and there was one that was just in a little bit better spot.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, it really was so close. Alex, what do you think about that game right there?
That game, I still hate Muldoon, but that was a fantastic game to watch.
Yeah, I agree. Peter, thoughts?
I agree. Yeah. Great game to watch. You know, you put Muldoon on a Muldoon map, and he's gonna do Muldoon things.
Yeah.
And you gotta, but that doesn't mean the Breadman had to do everything he could to make that happen. Chad really put the pressure on him, but it was Chad was fighting an uphill battle, and any small little decision that you make can come back to bite you. We saw it was the draw 2, the turn on the river, which at the time, I was thinking about, well, I think you're fine on deck, and you seem like you need to try and get that extra damage in a Muldoon, and then nope.
Yeah.
Chad was thinking the same thing. Chad and I were both thinking we probably are okay, and then all of a sudden you draw the 2 and you look at the deck counts and you're like, oh, well, nope.
Yeah, so thinking back on that, the way things played out afterwards, obviously hindsight 2020, right? Like always, but he was at 6 health, I think, with Charlie when that happened. And so if he would take 5, he'd be at 1. Now, the other combat interactions that happened was a rending shot getting canceled by quite a pair, so no damage, and another, I believe, second shot or some 5 going into a long shot, which was a 5, right? So looking at what happened, Charlie could have taken that hit and still maybe pulled off all the attacks that he needed to without having played that card draw. That's also another 3 boost that Annie would have had to save the last queen that she had. And I think in that case, I think Chad would have gotten the win. Now, the only caveat to that is the fact that if Charlie's alive at 1, maybe Boterham attacks with they should all be destroyed, right? To try to get that last point of damage. But the problem was that, I mean, ultimately, Chad could have defended because there was only 1 destroyed left, which could have been full blocked with a long shot. But then it's a 50-50 because it's like, okay, is it the destroyed, which I full block with long shot, or is it the rending, which then I die from being pushed into a trap? But then the trap is a card draw for Muldoon. So if that's the case, you're okay with it. So I do think, looking back on it, if Chad just took that, he would have been fine. And I think that was the difference maker. But then the other question as well, the 2 cards that were drawn from Turn in the River, was that helping Charlie survive and find those bottom dealings that he ended up using? Maybe it did, right? It's so hard to say because the second bottom dealing was revealed from the first one, so that one could have been pulled from the bottom regardless. But it's a matter of when did Chad draw the long shot? When did he draw the quite a pair? When did he draw the first bottom dealing? And if he already had all those things, there was a world in which Chad doesn't defend and ends up winning because of it. But it's a lot of what ifs. I think it's just a fun thought exercise to look back and say, could this have worked? And I think it could have.
There's one other interaction that Chad was sort of talking about is the turn that led into Annie Pearlsing Muldoon. Charlie used the 4 into Slick Talker to try and bait it so that Annie could get in with the Slick Talker. But if he had played the Slick Talker first, obviously then Muldoon runs away.
Yeah.
But what happens then? Charlie's now alive and still has a better together left. He might have been able to heal up 1 and attack with that better together, in fact, right? So that's another interaction that if you look back on it, obviously it's so much earlier in the game, it's hard to imagine the possible future game states. But it's just something where it's like so many little moments like that where, it goes one different way and then everything's different. It happened in game 1 too. We saw that with that Achilles thing where it's like you just need to do one thing differently and you don't see the repercussions till 20 turns down the road.
Yeah, and again, that's just Unmatched, right? It's all just making the best call and you hope it works out. And ultimately, you just hope to play well, and I think that's definitely what we saw. We saw great plays on both sides here from Chad and Boterham both. They played excellently, and that's just peak Unmatched, in my opinion, right? That's all you can ask for, really.
It is.
So, yeah, that was fantastic, and we will be getting the players in for interviews. I'm not sure if they're prepared yet. Not quite yet. We're going to get Boterham in here first, I believe, because it's very late for him. Like I mentioned, we started, it was about 10. They actually started gameplay about 10:30 his time, so it's got to be, what, almost 1, past midnight, almost 1 a.m. for him. So he's got to be beat, and also he's got to get his rest up for tomorrow in the Grand Finals. So also a fun fact, this is going to be the first guaranteed Grand Finals winner that is not American. So let's hear a round of applause for all the international players. It was just a matter of time, right, until somebody took over the throne, and that's super exciting for the whole, everybody. It's the evolution of the game and the community, and we've just seen so much of that over the past year even. I mean, I keep thinking, wow, this tourney is so much bigger and better than the last one, and it just keeps getting one-upped every time. And that's just incredible to see the growth of the game and the community and all these people getting together just to play this little board game that we all love called Unmatched. So
one thing that I think of right now is our first international tournament. International champion was finalized, decided by a win by the character who won the first tournament. Robert Muldoon.
Huh? Mr. Muldoon.
Yep. Prospero winning that first tournament, and here we are. He's guaranteeing that the next winner will not be from the United States. So
yeah, that is
how dare he?
How dare you, Muldoon?
Yeah, Muldoon's not American, so he likes
That's
it.
true. Is he South African? I don't remember. Or he might be Australian.
So.
I have no idea.
But we did have Prospero in the chat there.
Let's go.
Let's go about the Muldoon win.
Let's go.
Of course he is.
He was very excited about that.
Yeah, awesome.
He says to let Boterham know that he's proud.
Yes. Yes, that's great to see. I always love to see the previous champions in the chat, cheering on the new guys. We have like a new wave of competitors, and like I said, Boterham was kind of a dark horse here, coming out of nowhere almost. He did make bracket last time, but I don't think he made it super far. So yeah, just you love to see new players coming out and putting in great results. So I think we are ready, so we will get Boterham in here and ask him a few questions. So Boterham, first of all, thank you for joining us for the interview. I know it's very late your time, so we can keep it relatively brief, but man, congrats on a huge win. How are you feeling after that?
Yeah, amazing. To be honest, I didn't expect to make it this far. Because last time I did make it to bracket, but I made it to top 32, I think, and then I got knocked out. But no, it's amazing to just make it to the finals.
Right? Oh man, Grand Finals, man! It's not over yet. You got one more match ahead of you, but you could be the first non-American trophy winner, the first champion there. So there's a lot on the line. I gotta ask, though, like, what's your origin with Unmatched? Like, how long have you been playing, and when did you get into the tourney scene?
I think I've been playing for a little bit more than a year now.
Okay.
It was on. I went to Comic-Con with my brother, and there was Unmatched over there, and we just played a few games of it, and then we liked it, so we got 2 boxes, the Volume 1 box, and we got the Redemption Row box. And we just played a few games at home, and the more and more I played it, I liked it a lot more, and I got someone else to play the game with me, and my brother became less fond of it. He liked it a bit less over time.
Okay.
But then me and the other guy just played a lot of it and started to play online a bit, joined the ladder, and then the last big tourney was my first big tourney. I thought, why not give it a shot? Let's just see how it will go. It'll most definitely be a lot of fun, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and obviously it went pretty well. You mentioned top 32 in your first ever major online tourney. That's a big feat in and of itself. But now, man, to make it to the grand finals, that's on another level. So we love to see it. You know, congrats again. That was just incredible play. Super fun to watch. And that third game especially was very, very tactical. Like, you could not afford any slip-ups in positioning or anything, really, and you didn't. I mean, you didn't give those openings to Chad like he needed to get in there and close out the game. So really good positioning and just well played, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem.
I had one. I talked with Chad after the game about it, and there was one time, like with the second swap, that he could just maneuver and attack with Annie. I think that was one of the bigger mistakes I can remember about the game.
Sure.
But no, it felt pretty good. But it felt also pretty scary. Like Annie can just come in and hit with a 7, and you just lose 3 HP, and then you have the pulse as well.
I gotta ask, during that game, was there any point where you didn't have any defense?
No, I got them pretty early on. I started with I think a feint and the blue, and then the other 2 feints were in like the top 10 or something, I think. And I drew like 3 other defenses in the top 15 as well.
Okay.
I saw them all really quick.
Nice. Because that can definitely affect your positioning play, because you might not be brave enough to go out for an attack if you don't have any defense at all, because tricky things can happen, like the captain's orders plays or the slick talker swaps, and you never 100% know. So yeah, it can make it pretty scary, but that's good that you had defense and you just had great positioning the whole way, so that was awesome. I do want to ask if any of the other commentators, though, have any questions here.
Yeah. How does it feel to have an entire nation rooting for you?
It feels amazing. It feels really good.
Do you have an orange jersey?
No.
Do you have anything bright orange, at least? No?
I think maybe, yeah. I think probably I have a bright orange shirt.
Okay.
I think I have something. And I
what
also
about tulips?
have like...
You got any tulip?
No, I don't think so. But I do have a roller, and it's just the Dutch flag, and you can put it on your cheeks.
Oh,
nice.
There
You're
you
gonna
go.
be showing up tomorrow. Got to represent.
For tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. How about Jeremy or Alex? Any other questions from commentators? No.
Not really.
We'll keep it relatively short. Sorry, Alex. Go ahead if you have something.
Said, not really any questions. Just congrats on the amazing run, and you know what? You took out Chad. You can take out Phantom too.
I hope so. It would be really awesome.
I gotta say, in this game, once you get up to the top level, like all of us here are in the semifinals, we've all proven it, and anybody can beat anybody at this level. Like, there is nobody who's unbeatable in this game, because we're all human, first of all, and it's a board game involving luck. There's a lot of combat interactions with hidden information. You can never make the right calls every time. All you can do is just play well, play to your outs, and just do the best you can and stand by your calls, right? Like, have a reason for every call that you make. Have some justification for it. Don't be like, oh, I just did it just cause. Like, at least have something in mind, right, to back up your decision, and I'm sure you'll do great. And I have one more question then for you is, Grand Finals, are you aware of the format of Grand Finals? Because it is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
Chad explained the whole format before we started our draft yesterday.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna pick 6, ban 1, and then you're gonna have to play all 5. You're gonna have to assign all remaining 5. So, do you have any strats ready for that, or are you just gonna kind of wing it?
I think I'll think about the strats tomorrow a lot, because I don't have something ready yet, because I wasn't sure if I would beat Chad and if I would be in the finals.
Sure.
But I have some stuff in mind already. But no, I'll definitely prepare some stuff.
Yeah, you got some time before tomorrow. First of all, you're gonna have to get some sleep and make sure you get your rest so that you have a clean, fresh mind for going into Grands tomorrow. But yeah, I want to say too, Prospero in the chat said he's proud of you for the Muldoon win. He was the original champion that we had, so you got him on your back there, backing you up. So that's cool, and just congrats, man.
I do have.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you have one last question? Do you have any bread in your house?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you have to like tomorrow just eat only bread. Just power yourself up like Popeye.
Powered up.
Just pure
Okay,
bread.
I'll do it.
There you go.
I'll
Yeah,
I'll
let's
just
go.
place it on the side.
Yeah, you got to have it at the ready. When you're going through a tough decision, just take a bite of bread and maybe it'll make your decision easier.
I'll try that, definitely.
All right, Boterham. Well, congrats, man. Thank you for joining us for the interview. Is there anything you want to say to anybody out there before you go?
Yeah, I guess everyone can make it this far in these tourneys. I didn't expect to make it this far at all. I thought, okay, maybe I could get bracket, maybe top 16 instead of top 32, improve from last time, because that was my goal for this one. But yeah, as you can see, anyone can make it really far in these.
Yeah, definitely. So you're proof. You're living proof, and you may be the first international winner. So good luck, man. I wish you all the best for tomorrow.
Yeah,
You got
thanks,
this,
bro.
bread man.
All right, man. Get some sleep.
All right, yeah, I'll do that.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Mr. Unmatchad, he's appeared like a Bloody Mary jump scare out of nowhere. Very thematic. Well, Chad, first of all, I just want to say congrats. You obviously had an incredible run. As you always do, you've literally not missed a single semifinals weekend in every tournament you've been a part of. So you have the most ridiculous streak out of anybody in the whole scene. So be proud of that. It's really unmatched. And unfortunately, you're walking away here, as I am as well, with a loss. We couldn't meet in grands, but hey, we just get to ride off into the sunset, together. So how are you feeling overall?
Yeah, obviously, I don't want to say I'm not bummed, because I am. I was planning to do that, obviously. But what an amazing set to go out on. I really don't. This is probably the best I felt after losing a tournament, in all opinion. Because I could point to two things that I think cost me each game. So that always stings a little bit. But I don't think it's guaranteed that I would have won on the other side, if that makes sense. So it kind of goes that way. So yeah, what a blast. Obviously, yeah, I am bummed, but it's been kind of busy here. I haven't been able to spend as much time just pouring into Unmatched as I love to. So just playing commentating tomorrow, at least that's my plan. That'll be awesome.
Yes.
So I'm super excited for that.
We'll get you in there.
So, yeah.
I think the problem, Chad, you're not dedicated enough. You have Archer. Who cares about Archer? You can just play more Unmatched. Just play more
My
Unmatched.
wife cares.
Everybody cares. Except you, Peter.
That was sarcasm. I was making a point that he has two young children. Come on, guys. Get the program.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Chad, we only got to play, a single practice game this whole tourney together?
Yeah, I think so, which is a all-time low. All-time low. It almost is but when you played Unmatched before me, I don't know if you can remember those dark ages.
Vaguely.
Yeah.
What did we do before?
Here, one sec. Let me turn the light off. You guys gotta see my panda.
Oh, he glows in the dark.
Okay. Oh.
We love the panda. We saw you bring that out at the start, and you replaced the "Bless This Home" thing with the El Pandito, and we're like, oh, Chad's getting serious.
That's right.
Although
this is instead of me pulling on a tank top.
Okay, that's your way to power up. Yeah, makes sense. With the panda.
I do have to say, I brought it up at the beginning. I'll bring it up again. You are a very religious person, and you're a very strong and lucky Unmatched player. Do you think that bringing down the blessings is what did you in this tournament? Maybe you gotta stick with the blessings.
That's right. Yeah, I think God doesn't care too much.
Yeah. So I do want to ask you about Game 1. I think Game 3 was just incredibly close, back and forth. We couldn't tell who was winning all the way up until the very end. It was just crazy, the positioning from both of you guys. It was really an awesome game to end it on, like you said. But Game 1 especially, we were like, I don't know. Where do you think things went wrong in that game? Because I felt like Achilles' usually pretty good against Houdini, and
Yeah.
you got to go
Yeah,
first, which is always a bonus. But
So-
it just seems like things slipped away somehow.
I had 2 notes. The first thing, it slipped away when I said I want to go first. That was a big mistake.
Really?
Definitely should have taken map,
Okay.
in my opinion, because even with 18 health, and all of Achilles' defenses, he has what, 20 defenses?
A lot, yeah.
I struggle to see a turn 1 that I'm afraid of. From Houdini, which is like the big thing you're worried about. And so because he was on a large map, I had to do the Achilles being worried about, can I play helms? Can I play my double attacks? Like all those types of things for my high boost. And the double attacks, sure. I mean, I can boost with those reach 5. I'm fine with that. The big problem, in my opinion, is helms, because in that matchup, you really want to play helms. So that was getting iffy. So that was the first mistake. Is it over at that point? No. I've played that side with Ashley a lot, and I've played the Houdini a lot. Tried to do like a kill Pat early, play a fatigue game. It's not worked for me. So, but the times I have won that matchup, which I have done a number of times, is capitalize immediately after Pat dies and get like some chunk, which we saw there in that game.
Yeah.
You may say my positioning was a little poor that he was able to do that. I had a reason for that positioning that I shared.
Yeah, we heard.
Yeah. So yes, it was poor. I already felt like I was losing. So to position in such a way to capitalize potentially immediately, to me, makes sense. That was at least the logic in my head. So that was the first one. The second one was the 50-50 call, where I could either feint or I could throw my helm. And I feinted, and I took 2 from 8 down to 6. So then I'm lethal with just misdirection, and he slips the other one in, and I lost my feint. Right, it was just huge. The other scenario, I throw helm, I swap, Pat dies, and then I'm in a better spot.
Hope you don't lose your feint.
Spaces away. And I potentially don't lose my feint, but in that case, I had a skirmish, a feint, a Hermes, and a double attack. And that was my 4th maximum boost, and then I potentially lose my double attack there too. So now I have one more time that I can reach him. He had misdirection. He didn't still have healing. He just boosted with healing to get in there. So like it was. These were all considerations. So I think if I played that, it would have been much different. I think Boterham agrees. But regardless, these were all considerations and stuff that I had to make because of my map, or because I chose to go position. So I think I choose map there 9 times out of 10. I think I'm in a much better spot, because I think you just start smacking him, and because he was able to like run away, move 3, with some of his schemes, run away and then build up his hand to then come back in and then run away, and the initiative was on. It was just kind of messy, and that was my bad. Because I definitely think Houdini. I think it's a myth that Houdini can totally do 18 damage to. In my experience, every time I played that matchup, it's felt like that. The thing is, Achilles is killing you way before you get to that point. That's been my experience. You have to play all your defenses, so you don't have those to boost with. So then you're limited on boost 3, all those types of stuff. Anyway, I don't need to begrudge that one too much. But I think I went wrong on that map choice. Genie Red, a blast.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I think it was like 12 minutes.
Oh my gosh. We were all loving that.
I love playing Genie like that, and I had good reason to do it. I don't think it was a foolish decision. I think that Sultans gave me a massive amount of info.
Yep.
I was like, all right, you either got to play this 2 value off symbol, or you're taking a large chunk of damage, and ended up working out for me. So it was definitely risky there at the end to try and close it out, but there were only 2 cards that saved him, and he still had 15 in deck.
Yeah. No, I love everything you did there. It was amazingly well done. Now, but was that your plan going into the matchup, or was that only after you saw his hand with Sultans?
Definitely not the plan. My plan was to play back and forth for a while, and then he comes in, maybe a little too risky. I see his hand. I wish a little bit of it away, maybe all of it away. I play defensive Sultans. I get it. Now I have 3 actions to attack, and I go go berserk, because 14 health is like not that much in this grand scheme of Genie, especially when you have no movement.
Yeah.
Mm.
And only one cancel
really.
at that.
Right? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, we lost
Yeah.
you for a second.
Oh, sorry. Am I
I
back?
think we got you back now. I can hear you now.
We got your
Hear you,
audio.
we can't see you.
Yeah.
Should I refresh? Or
You're good, I think. Video will come back.
okay,
Yeah,
sounds
there it
good.
is.
Sorry
There you
about
go,
that.
we're
So, yeah, Red not having any movement defenses seems, obviously a problem because, for example, the Alice matchup, Alice Genie, is pretty even, but that's because like literally every defense of Alice like moves her away from the combo, right? That's not true of Red. So anyway, that was not my plan at all. And then I was like, well, I feel like this is what I got to do because of the map he chose. He had great map choices all around.
Oh yeah.
So that map, I felt like it was going to be so hard to kill Huntsman.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
my plan was to kill Huntsman, then play kind of a value game, then wish and like go berserk.
Yep.
That was like rough idea.
Right.
And then I'm looking at this map, and I'm like, I can't reach him unless I take ability, double maneuver, attack once. What's the point of that?
Right.
I mean, it's Huntsman. I have to literally spend at least 3 attacks, if not more.
Right.
So like that didn't make any sense to me. So then I was like, let's just hit Red and just because in my opinion, Bigfoot loses to Red, but he can beat Red by just aggressing the snot out of her. And so my thought was, well, if he doesn't have the healing, he's gonna crumble really quickly. And if he does have the healing, that's a turn he doesn't draw defense.
Yep.
So in my opinion, that healing is literally the exact same as a 4-value defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that was kind of the thought process, but it costs an action for him, right? So it's worse.
It's worse, you're right. Mm-hmm.
But it's better because you actually heal versus if I bait out an attack, right? It's all this meta. But that was my thought process. So then I was like, what the heck? And it worked out great. The reason I drew 5 off that first one was just to hope to get the action game one because he had a 4
the 2 and the 4.
and he had the 4 and the 2, and I knew he'd probably
first.
throw the 4 first.
Mm-hmm.
And then didn't get it, and I'm like, garbage. But I did have the auto damage.
Had the auto
one.
damage. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and he took, which I was thinking he was going to do, so I was happy with the 5, and then did that. Anyway, it was an amazing game. I love that game.
Crazy game.
Game 3 was wild to me.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to be that doable feeling for Andy.
No.
Right.
My whole assignments, there was a whole big like game in my head with assignments. I was pretty sure I was gonna assign Annie on my advantage, Achilles in neutral, and the only reason I didn't assign Tomoe because I thought Tomoe was a great draft. I did not know how she did in any of those matchups.
Yeah.
And we drafted beforehand, and I didn't feel comfortable exploring those matchups after assigning her.
Sure.
So I felt like, well, I could either do that or I could go with what I want. So then I was like, well, Muldoon has just got much better because I think he generally does well into like melee. But if I'm running into Muldoon, if I'm running to Achilles Muldoon on my advantage, I take map, I choose a map he can't corridor off. I think I win that one. Like maybe Point Pleasant, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was my thought process. Obviously, it's bad for Achilles, but my thought was I can still maybe make it work. So that was that. Anyway, there was this whole meta game, but I went with those assignments knowing that I'd probably get Annie Muldoon. But because I had Annie Muldoon, that means Achilles is probably winning me a game and Genie is probably winning me a game.
Mm-hmm.
So I was planning on going 2-0 and losing game 3. That was how when I lost game 1, obviously I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So then that might have played into some of my decision making with Genie. But I still stand behind a lot of those decisions. I don't think I was being reckless. Like I've already lost. Let me do this.
No,
I think I was playing well.
Yeah.
But game 3. So like, man, it was so close. I was like, it was insane to me how close and doable it was feeling. Because I was able to move, hit that trap with Annie, then teleport next to him, then land yap for 3 damage. I was like super excited about that play. For the 3. So the biggest problem I think for me, again, I don't think we can't know if this changes the outcome fully. Charlie was at 6 health. One of the workers came and attacked him, and I only had turn in the river for defense.
Mm-hmm.
And
We
I
talked about this a lot, yeah.
played I got greedy, I think. So the thing was, I had 3 more ranged Charlie attacks. So I had both
bottom
of
dealings and a
both
long
of
shot,
the
right?
bottom dealings and 1 more long shot,
Yep.
which I didn't have any of those. So I was like, I'm at 6 health. So like, I think I'm good to do the draw because I still had 2 defenses for Charlie. I think it was the feint and the long shot.
And the long shot, yep.
potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. So I chose to take the card draw, and then I had bottom dealing in hand. The problem is he couldn't have killed me. So if I take it, he can put him down to 1, but it can't kill me. So that's important. But anyway, so I made that call, and I think that was a mistake. I think if and so here's I don't think I thought out fully my win con. My win con was just to aggress with Charlie so much and then find an attack with Annie, 1 more attack with Annie, and then win. That was my game plan. And I didn't think through what it looks like for me to get that final attack with Annie.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. And I think if I don't draw there, I bring him to fatigue. All his workers die, then I find the attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't piece that together because I think I was winning in fatigue at that point. And then I drew because I still had 3 pearls or 2 pearls. I still had 2 pearls.
Yep.
And he had like I think 2 remotes and 2 that, but he overdrew and discarded 1 remote. So I was like, oh, this is all right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he still had a bunch of traps out. But then I drew 2. Then I maneuvered, attacked with Charlie, but that was a mistake because I overdrew. So now I had to discard there. There was another turn I overdrew when I double maneuvered. I could have played a pearls as a pass. I still don't think that would have won. I think it was over kind of at that point, as long as he didn't make a positioning error, which was a big part of the game. And it was so much to think about because I can move you 2 spaces and me 2 spaces, and then I have captain's orders, and then I have another one of those. Like it was massive, but like the gameplay, like how it could have gone. So it was like wild for us to keep thinking about those. But that I think was the misplay. Now that said, would I have won the game if not? I don't know. Charlie got me. So then Charlie goes in, attacks, hits bottom dealing. I don't move bottom dealing. But then he also got another damage off, or another 2 damage off with the second bottom deal. Now that said, if I'm taking him to fatigue, that 2 damage doesn't matter. And I think that's where my math went off.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if Muldoon is at 3 health or 1 health if I just can't reach him. But if he's taking damage because of fatigue, now we're cooking.
Yeah.
And I think that was my big problem there. I was taking it. Now again, I don't know if that would have changed it because then it would have been I run up, kill a worker.
Yep, we lost him again.
I think.
Oh, no.
There you go. You're back.
Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm not sure that would have won me the game because the back and forth still would have existed. He would have attacked me every turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have like maneuvered attack. I think he attacks maneuvers. So like we're still like evening out in fatigue and such.
Right.
So yeah. So I'm not sure, but it definitely, let me play it this way. It lost me the game. It did, but not playing it doesn't necessarily win me the game. But playing it lost me the game.
Yeah, it was a really interesting decision. Like you said, there was so much to think about that whole game. It was like information overload. So it was a really neat matchup, though. It was really entertaining to watch because we could not tell who was going to end up winning in the long run until like the very end. So really, really well played. The whole match was awesome. Any other questions from any of the other commentators here?
Well, how do you feel? Oh, go ahead, Jeremy.
Well,
Please.
I'm going to have like one quick question, just a little comment. Did you ever think when you picked Genie that it was possible to have a game that was like that Genie game? Because we didn't know that was actually physically possible for a game to look like that. I mean, I think you discarded like every turn to get that. So yeah.
Great question. I mean, let's do real.
Gosh,
Kids of that 6 discards for effects, so 11 cards. I discarded maybe 11 cards from my deck. Actually, I boosted as well. So and I overdrew once. so maybe 13 cards in my deck were not used at all, which is wild to think about, actually. Now that that's actually insane. But yeah, so no, I had no clue. Genie, in my opinion, was an excellent draft pick on my part. Very proud of the Genie pick because to me, on disadvantage, Genie was looking very good. So Genie into Alice, I played that. That's good. Genie into Red, I haven't played it, but I've heard it's pretty good for Genie. And math-wise, I kind of thought about it, but I was nervous of that one. I really was. But that one, Genie Houdini, very comfortable with, very even. But I'm very comfortable with that. It's one of probably my most played matchups, so I felt really confident going into that. And then Genie, what was the other one? Genie Muldoon, right? I've played that one a bunch. To me, it's really rough for Muldoon, so I was very happy with that one. So that's why I ended up throwing it on disadvantage because I felt like he was a win no matter what. And then Achilles on advantage, I thought was win no matter what. Obviously, we saw that not be the case. But yeah, no, I had no clue. I really was not planning on playing Genie like that at all. And then when I saw the assignments, I was even when I saw the assignments, I wasn't like, oh yeah, because like if I saw the assignments and saw Muldoon, I'm like, yeah, this is how I'm playing Genie. But not with Red. It was wild. Just wild.
Yeah. Well, and then my other comment is here. This is for both John and for Chad. They're going to take this since I happen to have it here, and I'm going to go ahead and do it at half staff today because America has gone down. So,
yep.
Put it out at half
I was
staff.
thinking it would
and,
be the Texas
congratulations to the international players.
Yes.
You know, America's
absolutely
stand has gone down, and we've fallen, but. It means that Restoration gets to pay the big money for shipping the
international shipping on the trophy.
That's right.
Yeah.
How about you, Peter? You had something for Chad?
Yeah, I had a couple questions. Chad, do you first off, how do you feel now? You sort of touched on it about your assignments. I think you sort of touched on that you didn't think Tomoe was great. Well, you didn't know the matchups, but do you think you would have been happier having Tomoe against Muldoon than Annie in that last position?
So I will say, well, one, losing the die roll versus Muldoon sucks. So I was kind of expecting Muldoon to go somewhere, but I honestly was surprised that it was in the middle because I was like, if he just loses this die roll, then I feel like, because to me, like point or like maybe what is it, Sanctum, anything where like hiding is impossible. I feel like he's in trouble, especially because if he wants to, otherwise he doesn't have an ability, in my opinion, because like I could just step on traps and so much. So I like, and I mean, maybe it didn't look like it on stream until like the very end. It felt way more doable for me than I was.
It was much closer than expected. Yeah.
So that said, I don't know the Tomoe one. My thought process was, if it is Muldoon and I throw Tomoe, obviously I love Tomoe. She brought me here to this part in the tournament. I really have enjoyed my games both as and against her, so I really enjoyed that. My thought was Muldoon likes to run, so he's taking pings, so he's not going to do that. But then I was like, okay, well, I've also played against Animal, and Animal's aggressive Muldoon, where Muldoon never ran. And also they're like 4 rending shots or 3 rending shots, 3 leap aways. Like I was doing the math and like Muldoon has 5 cards that he plays. Everything else is a worker card. And to me, Tomoe doesn't like sidekicks. So my thought process was like I could see it being decent for Tomoe. It just felt like I was taking a big risk if it wasn't. And if that makes sense.
Sure.
So yeah, that was kind of my thought process there. But I mean, assignments took forever for both of us, and we of all the 4 fighters, we really felt like the other person could play all 4 of their fighters very confidently.
Yeah.
So
here's my other question: is going to the assignments. Was there any point in time where you thought about not banning Wukong? Because for one reason, because if he thought you were going to ban Wukong, like you did, I could see him banning Achilles over Black Widow. And then if you hadn't banned Wukong, you would have been in a really good spot But then he banned Black Widow anyway, so.
Yeah, exactly. So that was exactly our. Well, first off, I want to give Boterham, great guy. Had amazing conversations with Draft. Had amazing games with him. Just fun. We laughed. We talked. It was just so. Props to him. Never played him before. Great guy. Super happy to get to know him and play him. And obviously, I would love to see either of them win. I'm rooting for him because it makes me feel better. But it's the same with Animal versus Ito. I love Ito, but I was rooting for Animal because then I lost to the guy who won it all.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyway, props to him. Yeah, I wavered between Houdini and Wukong, and the reason was because I hate both of them. And so that's not necessarily true. I do enjoy my Houdini games, or the games I've played against Houdini. But my thought process was I've been burned by both of these guys in tournament before. And that to me is because of their high variance. And if I let Wukong through and he bans one of my answers to Wukong, Tomoe, Genie, or Widow, then I'm in much more of a problem. The Annie one is impossible in my experience versus Wukong, so I obviously would not have assigned her. And then it's a crapshoot if he lines it up into Achilles, which is better now with the rule change with Rui Jingobong, but it's still not one that I want to play. And I mean, my first tournament ever, I lost that in grand finals. So, and who knows? But I mean, with it coming down to assignments randomly, I didn't want to run into that. And I was much more comfortable playing into Muldoon, I felt, than either of those knuckleheads. And I know people have problems with Muldoon. Ashley hates Muldoon way more than Wukong. She was surprised I didn't ban Muldoon, was okay with it. But I've been pretty comfortable against Muldoon, except for that like animal game on Solomon's being super aggressive. But I mean, that was just a fun game. So that was what it was. But yeah, I mean, I think assignments wise, I was very happy with assignments. I just misplayed the map pick in the game one, and I think that really hosed me. But even then, I mean, it's a very volatile matchup. I think Achilles generally does pretty well. But to me, it all comes down, Pat dies, we see what happens, and then you either win or lose. And that's been my experience. Like Achilles,
that's what happened in that game.
Yeah, Achilles
if
will
you
be
took out your two double attacks, you probably won.
Yeah, I definitely have, in my opinion, I think I agree with you there, Peter. I've killed Pat with a misdirection just for the discards and teleport next to Achilles and then attack him immediately after.
We talked about that one.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's just been so it's just such a dynamic game in general. And I think I share this with my wife. This was the best draft I'd ever had, or the most competitive draft I'd ever had. Let me put it that way. In most of my matches leading up to this, I was very confident with my picks. I was very confident with my assignments, and here it was kind of all over the place where we were both like, he was like, I hate that you have Achilles, and I'm like, I hate that you have Houdini, and we locked him in at the same round. So it was just it was just fun. It was just fun. So yeah, I definitely, to answer all your questions, Peter, I definitely thought of all of that because it was all over the place. It was a crazy draft, crazy assignment, crazy match.
Definitely a crazy match. And does anyone else have any last words for Chad? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up here. Chad, anything you want to say to the viewers?
Yeah. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to put, just very cool to see the community growing and continue to grow. And we got, I don't know, 192, 196, something like that.
Almost 200.
For this tournament. Almost 200. That's insane. And I was sharing with Boterham that my first tournament, or not the release rumble, the next one, I think I played like Micah, who's from France, and Caesar, who's from Greece. I think I played Crid, who's from Sweden, and that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was it in terms of the international. I played Peter twice.
Yeah.
That was it. But now, I mean, like, in pools, I got a number. I mean, the whole time here, I was fighting Russians left and right. I mean, like, it was just so cool to see the community continue to grow, especially internationally. I think I've never been really a part of a community that has breached that gap. well, one has breached that gap, and two had Americans like do well. Really, I think in international communities, America doesn't do super hot unless it's women's soccer. But yeah, super cool to see that. So yeah, just want to say if you're considering playing, I would highly advise doing it. I know it's super probably intimidating to get into the meta now that we have 49 fighters, but I will say don't let that intimidate you. I mean, I played a match today. Matchup today I've never played before in my life. Actually, 2 matchups I've never played before in my life, and they were awesome. So while it's good to have matchup experience, it's not the only thing you need. So I just highly recommend hopping in if you're on the fence. Yeah, just highly. And I know that generally we've seen a lot of dudes in here. My wife has played before. I know Bryden's wife has played before. I know Noah's wife has played before. I know Dariko was top 8 again.
Yep.
I'm missing people, but anyway, I just want to say getting more women involved would be awesome. So if you're kind of on the fence as well there, I just everybody here is super just excited to have people to play with and just want people to learn. So just kind of want to encourage that. But yeah, other than that, this tournament has eaten up a lot of my free time, but I have a Moon Knight guide that I plan to come out soon. It was going to release tomorrow when I beat John, but I will obviously be delaying it and working on it. I had this whole intro set up. If you're listening to this, that means that I'm celebrating. But that will obviously not be the case. So go ahead and stay tuned to that. My YouTube channel is Unmatchad. I've obviously been, busy with this, and I'm competitively playtesting another game, trying to get it out the door. Then I've got, the 2 infants, or an infant and a toddler. So just kind of a crazy life here, but I'm still committed to putting out content. It's just kind of, whenever I find the time. So there's that. Thank you to my parents who always watch. I know my mom asked, hey, if you're in trouble, go ahead. If something bad happens to you, but you're okay, go ahead and wink. So that you were able to know that everything was okay. Well, everything was not okay, so I never winked. Thank you all for watching. Y'all just always for the support. I know Ashley's busy at a wedding, but I could not do this without my beautiful wife and my 2 boys. They are my life. There's only one thing more important to me than my kids. And as Peter pointed out, that's God. But I just could not do it here without Ashley and the boys and everything like that. So just huge shout out to them. They are amazing, super supportive. They're awesome. So yeah, thank you all for the commentators. I will be joining your ranks tomorrow. So super excited for that. And really, thank you for all the time. This is my favorite part of the tournament, win or lose. Just the production and Alan doing everything on the back end and all this stuff and commentators and it's just so cool to be able to watch these back and or show them to people or have people come back and say, you play Unmatched? I just got into the game and I'm watching tournament videos and I'm seeing you in like every tournament video. And I'm like, yeah, I love Unmatched. So it's so cool. Thank you to Restoration Games for an amazing game that they produced. Shakespeare set is probably my favorite set, or it's up there. So I'm super excited for people to get that in their hands. I need to watch this back to see the reveal. It's just tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And tomorrow and tomorrow.
Front and center. Just big shout out to them. Also, John, a personal big shout out. I could not do this without you, right? So you are my practice partner. You are the reason I am here. You are the reason that with like no practice other than competitive playtesting, I'm here, top 4 again. Just the basics and the positioning and initiative and all those types of things.
that's why I'm here. And honestly, Tales to Amaze is also why I'm here. So super glad I was able to get here and almost put in with Annie. I hope I at least made people reconsider Annie, because that game was awesome. So yeah. So yeah, I know super long-winded, way longer than Boterham, but thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak. And as you can tell, I love this game and I have a lot to say about it.
No problem, Chad.
One last thing. This is I need to turn myself up just a bit.
Alan's.
Yes, I am going to the stream. The stream can't hear me. Chad, I have one last question for you. You said your wife is at a wedding. Given your current apparel, did you leave that wedding for semifinals?
Great question. No, I did not.
Okay, that's good.
My wife is in Ohio right now with the boys.
Okay, that's all I had.
Yeah.
Well,
that'll be
Chad,
epic.
Chad, thanks for the shout out, man. I couldn't do it without you either. I'm proud to be your practice partner and proud to see you just crush every tournament you enter. So that's just amazing, and it's always a blast playing together, whether it's actually playing games or just drafting or just talking about the game, whatever it may be. I definitely would be probably not still playing the game if it wasn't for you. So yeah, thanks for everything. I appreciate that. And congrats again, top 4, incredible showing as always. Wouldn't expect anything less. Sad to not meet you in Grands, but there's always next time. So we'll see what the future holds. But congrats again, and thanks for spending the time to just play this game that we all love together.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
All right, man. Take care. All right, stream, chat, everybody watching, all the wonderful viewers at home. It's been a long day today, but we have more action for you tomorrow, so do not miss it. Grand Finals, Winner of Champions 2024, going to be starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time, so that's about an hour and a half later than we started this morning. Go ahead and do your little time calculations. I don't know the GMT, or a little under 16 hours from now. So make sure, set your alarms, whatever you need to do, don't miss it. There will be the Slings and Arrows reveal during that sometime as well, but we're going to see Boterham versus Phantom X, going to be the first crowning of the International Champion trophy winner, so it's going to be epic. Grand Finals, best of 5. They have to pick 6 fighters, assign 5 after a ban, so they're assigning every fighter they end up with, so it's going to be crazy. I'm sure the roster is going to go pretty deep, so definitely looking forward to that. Don't miss it. And before we sign off here, I'll give a chance to all of our wonderful commentators to say any last words or shout out their channels, their socials, and all that. So, Jeremy, how about we'll start with you?
Well, I've got 2 places you can find me on YouTube. It's To The Tabletop with an exclamation point, where I put videos there for all the fighters and any other random nonsense that happens to enter my mind. You can also find it when I am playing into tournaments with PoindexterG. We'll have a team league coming up, and I'll be going on with that soon. And also just a shout out to Restoration for supporting us, and let people know once again they've got a lot of great sets here recently with Tales to Amaze, The Sun's Origin, and right now Slings and Arrows being able to be kind of on a pre-order right now from Restoration. Definitely take a look at that and support them, and let them know that you're finding them here through these productions here, so they know where people in the community are coming from.
Yes, exactly. So thank you, Jeremy. We'll make sure to get your socials, the links and whatnot put into the Twitch chat there. And then Alex, how about you? Any last words, anything to shout out or anything to say to the stream before we go?
Buy Slings and Arrows. That's not a request.
Well said. It's going to be an incredible set, as you guys will see one of the sweet new cards tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And how about you, Peter? Anything to say to the stream?
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I have 2 announcements. First off, this is actually an announcement. I will be making my first Unmatched YouTube video with the release of Slings and Arrows. Ooh! I know you'll have a lot of Slings and Arrow content to watch. It won't be about Slings and Arrows, but Slings and Arrows will be tied in. So stay tuned for that one, especially if you like tier lists. That's all I'll say. Ooh. And if you want non-unmatched content, I am a content creator. I make daily fact videos on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. It's Peter Osterweil. I guess I'll type it in the chat because my last name's not easy to spell. But yeah, if you want to find a new daily interesting fact, that's what you do. Otherwise, keep on trucking. I don't know why I said that.
No, well said, well said. We'll have you, Alan,
Thank
put
you.
the links to your stuff in the Twitch chat. Send it to Alan
I'm
right
gonna do
now
that.
if
Yeah,
you
send
can,
it to
and
me.
then
I
Alan
don't know how
Will
to
do.
spell that.
he'll put it in the
Yeah.
chat. But yeah, just thank you guys for hopping on commentary with me. I know it's always a long time to sit here in front of a computer and talk about Unmatched, but I know we all love it, so I hope you had fun with it, and I'm always happy to have you guys with me. So thank you again for doing that. And thank you to Restoration Games for making this amazing game and putting on this incredible, production, sponsored by Restoration anyways, done by 645 Development, the man behind the magic. So big thanks to Alan for everything he does. These final streams are always so professionally done. It's incredible. And it does really help draw a lot of people, new players, into the game when they see this type of production value. So super, super appreciate that. Also, thank you to the guys at Vorpal Board for giving us a great platform to play on. They're always really supportive of the tournaments and everything we do here. Shout out to Frank, the creator of League website. That website is just like a godsend to this community. All the tourneys are hosted out of that site. You can find all kinds of matchup stats on there and all kinds of cool data to check out in regards to Unmatched. So huge shout outs to Frank for running League, and I don't know where we would be without him. Hosting a tourney that hits almost 200 players is just incredible. So thank you, Frank, for everything you do. You don't get enough praise, but man, you're the man. So thank you for that. And thank you to everybody watching at home. Obviously, this productions, they wouldn't be nearly as good without all the viewership. So I really appreciate everyone who's sticking around, watching the games, watching the interviews, all this stuff. Big thank you to you guys. We hit, I think, over 130 viewers and probably consistently hovering around 100 plus. And that's disregarding, I know that the Russian community, which is like rivaling the main League community in size, they also are streaming as well concurrently in Russian. So they also are getting viewership of, I heard at one point, I think 70-ish. So that's like over 200 people watching Unmatched is really cool to see. And I know those numbers might not be super impressive in the grand scheme of Twitch, but we started off from basically nothing, like complete grassroots. So to see it grow into what it has is just really cool. So thanks to everybody watching at home. I really appreciate all the support. And yeah, if you want to see me, I do have a YouTube channel. You can check it out. Zero Skater 12 is the channel, or I stream on Twitch here and there, twitch.tv/Zero Skater 12. And you can check out some live gameplay on Twitch when I do my tourney matches, or on YouTube, you can check out the Matchup of the Month videos. This is my main series where me and Chad go through a new matchup every month, or try to be every month at least. We got a few to catch up on, but we'll get there. But yeah, we go through matchups and we take a deep dive into the fighters and what they're all about and how they play out. And then we give an example of how the games play by playing against each other. So it's always a fun time. Check it out on YouTube. And yeah, if you want to be a Patreon subscriber too, you can help support me in making the content, because I got pretty limited free time at this point, but I try to keep pushing it out when I can. I'll definitely catch up more now that I'm not preoccupied with Winner of Champions, because that took up most of my free time playing tourney matches. But yeah, check me out on Patreon and give some support, and you can even cast your votes for Matchup of the Month episodes for the future. But yeah, that'll do it for the stream, everybody. It's been a long one, but it's been a great day of Unmatched, and we got even more tomorrow. So again, be sure to come back 10:30 a.m. Central Time for the Grand Finals, Boterham versus Phantom X. Who's going to be the first international champion? We'll find out tomorrow. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you later.